To quote the late great Anthony Bourdain, if I had to eat only in one city for the rest of my life, Tokyo would be it. In this documentary, I will show you why Japanese food leaves such a strong impression. Starting off with seafood at its finest in Sapporo, northern Japan.
The famous Hokkaido hairy crab. They've got a big tank of them here.
Yes.
Mr. Hirade is going to help me out.
Yes.
So these are caught in Hokkaido?
Oh yes.
Yes, they are. And is this the season?
No season.
Season now?
It's oh, yes.
Wow. Look at that. Hairy crab, because you can see the kind of hairs on the outside. These are very, very delicious. Famous for Hokkaido, yes?
Yes, very famous.
And you can eat the insides too.
Yes, inside the miso.
The miso, so they call it kani miso, right?
Yes, that's right.
So crab miso, it's kind of like the tamale. It's not really miso, but that's one thing about this type of crab, the hairy crab, is that you can eat the miso inside, but then also lots of meat. Very cool, very hairy.
Yes, very hairy. Please be careful. This is many needles.
Oh, these are needles. Okay,
yes.
So they'll stick into your skin. Okay. Famous Hokkaido hairy crab. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yes, please.
I'll put it right here.
Yes.
So they have other types of crabs as well. Let's go see what else they've got. They've got tanks everywhere full of seafood, not just crabs, but like I said, it's a specialty here in Hokkaido. And they've also got a tank of, I think they've got king crab and snow crab too.
Please be careful.
Okay.
This is snow crab.
Snow crab. Oh, so is this also from Hokkaido?
Yes, Hokkaido, Monbetsu.
Oh.
From Monbetsu.
And you can see the legs on this guy. It's just huge. Oh, and he's coming at me with the claws. Can you eat is there miso?
Miso, okay.
You can eat the miso with this one too. Look, he's got a hold of me here. Going for a little pinch. He's friendly, just saying hello.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. And last
Okay.
is a king crab.
Also from Hokkaido?
Yes.
Yes, all from Hokkaido here.
Okay, please be careful.
Okay, I'm gonna be very careful here.
This claw is very strong.
Very strong. Okay.
Yes, strong.
Like this?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, how many kgs is
Maybe
this?
4 kg.
4 kg. Wow, that thing is massive. King crab. Look at that. Look at the claws here. Gotta be careful. He's got a grip on me. Not as friendly as the last guy. King crab. That is absolutely massive. Way too big for breakfast today, so we're going for the hairy crab today. How much does this cost?
Maybe 60,000 yen over.
60,000 yen or over.
Right,
So
yeah.
about $600, $500 over. Whew. Yep. That's the king of the sea for sure. So these guys actually have quite a soft shell, you can feel.
40,000 yen.
40,000 yen?
Yes.
About 300 grams or how
Yes.
many? Yeah, about 300 grams. Okay, but do they get bigger than this, or is this the full size?
Yeah.
This is full
a
size?
little bit big size.
A little bit big? Oh, okay.
Maybe 30, 50.
So much smaller than the king crab, but just as delicious, if not more. So let's order one up.
It's good.
This is the lucky one?
Yeah.
Okay. Or the unlucky one. Okay. So you said for 30 minutes?
Yes, 30 minutes.
30 minutes boil. So about 20-30 minutes in the boiler, that's all it takes. Just classic style, nothing super fancy, just boiled crab for breakfast today. Very excited to try it. It's gonna be my first time ever trying the hairy crab. I have had the snow crab before and king crab, but I've never tried hairy crab. Lots of selection of seafood here. You can see they've got the uni, sea urchin, fresh sea urchin, beautiful. And then they also have hotate, scallops. So we actually just ordered up a grilled scallop, one for 300, or you can have it sashimi. We ordered grilled, but they've got all kinds of different stuff.
All fresh.
Wow. All local, all fresh, very good. come up to the upstairs part of Kitano Gourmet where you can sit down and enjoy the seafood that you buy fresh downstairs. But they also have a menu of all kinds of different things. This is one of their specialties as well. It's called hokke. It's a dried and then grilled mackerel. They've got everything you can imagine in terms of seafood, from salmon to tuna and everything in between. But then they've also got all of these donboris, these seafood bowls, which look absolutely incredible. If we didn't order up that big crab, probably would have had one of those myself. But we're waiting now for the crabs and the scallops to arrive. Thank you. Wow. So a little candlelight under the grilled scallop, and we've got our beautiful, beautiful hairy crab. Just check that out right there. So you can see that kani miso, as they call it, miso, just because it looks like miso, but like I said, it's just the tamale, it's all those head juices, whatever you want to call it, and he beautifully sliced all of this up to make it easier to get at the meat. This is about 480 grams, and then that king crab was like 4 kgs or more, so that's literally 10 times bigger than this crab right here, if you can believe it. This looks like plenty for breakfast. And then the awesome looking grilled scallops. You can see there's 2 different cuts. The scallop meat, I'm not really totally sure what to call that other part, but there's basically 2 different parts of the scallop starting to boil away there with a little bit of probably dashi. All right, let me try to get at this hairy crab meat. And that kind of hair on the outside is actually sort of like spiky. It almost hurts a little bit in the fingers, so you gotta be careful. Oh, it's kind of flaking away. But let me try to get a little dip in that miso, kani miso. Let's try that. Oh my god. That is amazing. Wow. It's so delicate, soft, and very sweet. Wow. I can't believe how naturally sweet that is. Very, very flaky. It's a little bit difficult to get out of there because you can see it's so stringy and flaky, but this tool they've given me helps a lot. Oh, there we go. Let's go for another dip. Oh yeah. And then that tamale miso. It's got a slight bitterness, but nothing too strong. Oh my. It just flakes away in your mouth. And it's so naturally sweet. That's probably the sweetest crab I've ever tried. So you've got this part here, which has lots of meat, but then there's also this little part that has more meat. And see how sharp those are? You gotta be careful with your fingers. I just pricked myself. Let's try to get that out if I can. Yeah, that's what crab is all about. It's never easy. Good things don't come easy. Look at how much meat is on this kind of body part, oh yeah, of the crab. It's so delicate, I can't even use this. It's all gonna flake apart. I gotta use my chopsticks. Very, very soft. And then you gotta dip it in this kani miso. Oh yeah. Actually, it's a great breakfast. It's very light, very subtle sweetness, nothing too strong, delicious. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're gonna be sitting here for a while, picking every last piece of hairy crab out of this guy. Oh man, that is awesome. This is what you gotta try when you come to Hokkaido. All right, let's try the grilled scallop. I think it's just been simmering in a dashi broth here. Look at that, nice chunky piece. Oh. That is also amazing. So fresh. Again, sweet, very flaky. It's got a similar texture to the crab actually, but it's got a little bit of a saltiness from that broth that's been simmering away, and yum, that is awesome too. So good. Damn, this place has really fresh seafood. So we ordered the set. It comes with a crab miso soup, and this is the Hanasaki crab. So I guess they had some pieces of Hanasaki crab. You can see it's kind of got that spiky exterior. Let's just try a little sip of that. Oh, so comforting. Yeah. I'm gonna put some of the crab meat on my rice here, and it's surprising how much meat comes from the body of these guys, because usually other crabs that I've had, you get all the meat from the legs, the claws, but this has a lot of meat in the body part right here. Okay, that's good for now. There's a lot more still left in there. Oops. And then there's a couple condiments that they've given us as well. This is really interesting. It's actually seaweed with jellyfish. So it's like mixed up jellyfish with seaweed, and he said it's really good with the rice. So I'll put that with a little bit of my crab and try that with some rice. It's got like a caramel sweetness to it. That jellyfish seaweed mixture, a little bit of a ocean seafood flavor, and it goes really well with the rice. Very creamy. Because this crab meat is so delicate and soft, I figured that the most reasonable way to get all of it without wasting any is to just kind of shred it onto my rice like this, and then you can just eat it with the rice. Some of that jellyfish seaweed mixture. Oh yeah, look at that nice piece there. Oh yeah. And if you do get a good piece like that and it hasn't fallen apart, then you can go for a dip in the miso. Oh, see how very, very soft and delicate that is. Kitano Gourmet. Gotta try it out when you're in Hokkaido, in Sapporo. Really not easy to eat because it's so stringy and so delicate that you pretty much have to shred it like this if you want to get at the meat. And there's lots of shell, so yeah, mix it up with the miso, I guess, like this. Yeah. Yum. What were you saying? It's difficult, but
satisfying. I can do this all day.
very satisfying.
Yeah.
To pick out all the meat.
Yeah.
This is as good as I've got.
Look at what I got.
You're a pro.
Yeah, there's meat in there. That look left. It's precious one. To get it all. Alright, I'm gonna mix the meat with the miso. That looks really good. Oh my god, you can't miss this when you come to Sapporo, Hokkaido. So good.
Last leg, there was a lot of meat in there, 400 grams with the shell, but because the shell is so thin, I feel like it's mostly just all meat. There is so much. Just shred it onto my rice like that. We've already finished off the miso. I'm gonna sit here all day, shaving that crab onto the rice. This restaurant, Kitano Gourmet, really has all the bells and whistles you could ever want. They've given us a coffee after our crab. They have English and Chinese and multiple different language menus. And then they also come and pick you up at your hotel with a shuttle bus for free if you're dining here, which is crazy, but really convenient. So definitely check out Kitano Gourmet on your trip to Sapporo. Amazing hairy crab. Pretty reasonable price for everything we got. The crab was $5,940, so I think US dollars, that's even maybe less than $50, and then one grilled scallop for $300, so really affordable. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you. Bye-bye. Wow, amazing. Delicious crab, very, very friendly people, and some of the best, freshest seafood I've had in a long time. And just across the street, or just down the street from Kitano Gourmet. Here at this area is called the Crab Market, but they also have a fruit stall. So Hokkaido is very famous for its fruit, particularly melons and strawberries. So let's go see if we can get a piece of melon and try out. Bought ourselves a piece of melon here, famous Hokkaido melon. So there's a town nearby here in Hokkaido that's called Yubari, and Yubari is famous for its melon, but it's not the season for Yubari melon yet. So actually what they do is they take the Yubari melon seeds and they take it to Okinawa, the far south of Japan, for the winter season, so that they can grow the melons year-round and sell them. You can see the sign up there, says on May 26th, so we're just a couple weeks early before the Yubari melon season starts. But look at that, juicy, juicy melon. And I'll be totally honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of melon, but let's try this out. Whoa. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of melon, but I might be a huge fan of Hokkaido melon. That is so juicy. I bit into it, just it completely exploded with flavor. Very sweet, but very soft. Not like crunchy like the melons I've had before. Very, very soft. Look at it, it's just dripping with juice. That is absolutely delicious. Wow. Damn, that is definitely the best melon I've ever had.
Oh wow, this is so good. The one I tried in Thailand, it's like when you bite it, it's not melting and it's hard to chew. This one is melt in your mouth and sweet. It tastes like melon milk already. It tastes like dessert. It doesn't taste like fruit at all. I love it.
Save me a little bit.
No, sorry. God, it's so juicy. It's really juicy, right?
Yeah.
Let's get another one.
As you may know, in Japan, fruit can sometimes go to astronomical prices. This place seems pretty reasonably priced. Actually, I don't know, $45 for a melon, that's not very reasonable, but $4 for a slice? I don't know what I'm really saying. It's still quite expensive, but I mean, at least we're not paying $25,000 for a melon, which we saw for sale in Tokyo. By far the best melon I've ever had, and probably the best crab I've ever had too. So Hokkaido is so popular and famous for its high quality ingredients, and now I can see why. So we're gonna head now to a place called Maruyama Park, and hopefully we can see some of the sakura, the cherry blossom. It's late in the season, but I think we still might be able to catch some. One random thing I love about Japan is the taxis, the doors open and close automatically. They've got some kind of like, I don't know, air pressure system that opens the door and closes it that the driver controls. Really cool. Japan's just living in the future here. So we just took a taxi across town to the Sapporo Beer Museum. It's housed in this really beautiful old building with a brick architecture on the outside, and of course Sapporo is famous for its namesake Sapporo beer. But that's not the only thing you can taste here at the Sapporo Beer Museum. They also have a beer garden that sells Jingisukan, a special type of Hokkaido lamb barbecue. So we're gonna go inside, drink some beer, eat some barbecue. It's gonna be great, so let's go. Okay, so we didn't know, but we have to get a reservation, so we just made our reservation. It's gonna be about a 90-minute wait, but this place is expansive. There's a lot of different buildings, and I think there should be a little cafe that we might be able to order a beer while we wait for dinner. So at the cafe here, they have a little vending machine which you order your beer from. So put my money in, and then we're gonna go for the Sapporo Classic. And I guess you get a little ticket, give it to the woman. beer. Not gonna lie, I think you'd be shot dead in Canada if you poured a beer like that with that much head on it. But this is Sapporo Classic beer, which is only available in Hokkaido. So they use like premium malts or something for this classic beer, Sapporo beer. It's not the normal Sapporo beer. This is different. But I'm gonna wait a second to let this head cool off a little bit. It's very smooth, very, very smooth. I can say without a doubt that the Sapporo Classic is smoother and better overall than the regular Sapporo beer. That's why a lot of people, when they come to Hokkaido, they like to bring back a 6-pack or something of Sapporo Classic back home with them. Not only can you not get it in other countries, but you can't get it in other parts of Japan, only in Hokkaido. So that was only about an hour wait instead of an hour and a half, and we are in the Sapporo Beer Garden now for the famous Jingisukan. So I don't really know why it's called Jingisukan. You let me know down in the comments if you know. This place is absolutely packed. It is so smoky in here. Thank you. Gotta have it with beer, of course. So I ordered up 5-star, which is actually only available here at the Sapporo Beer Garden. Where was I? So it's a lamb barbecue, almost kind of like a Korean barbecue. You can see the grill right here in front of us. We're gonna get our meat here in a bit. You can order all you can eat, but we've gone with just a couple a la carte menus. Let's try this. Oh, our foods, everything's coming really fast. Also very smooth. So here are our slices of lamb, and they've given us a big chunk of fat here too, so I'll grease this up. And while I do a little cooking here, I'll tell you a story about this dish, which is pretty interesting. It goes back to World War II. The Japanese fighter pilots, the Air Force, they needed warm jackets. So what they did was they imported a bunch of sheep. They started breeding a lot of sheep because they wanted fleece. And they used the fleece to stay warm. The fighter pilots use it to stay warm. But Japanese don't actually eat lamb that much. And back then they didn't eat it at all. After World War II ended, all of the fighters came home from different parts of the world, including Mongolia. And they had to learn how to cook the mutton, not lamb, sorry, mutton, this is mutton, properly without having the smell that you get with mutton, which is sometimes quite strong. That's the story of it, and now it lives on today, especially here in Sapporo, and that's cooking really, really fast. That is a super hot grill. Like I said, similar to Korean barbecue or like yakiniku. I'll cook this up, and then we'll have it with some of the sauce that she's given us. Oh, it smells good, but I didn't need to start cooking to smell it. You can smell it in here. It is absolutely filled with smoke in here. Look at that. That is looking delicious already. Yum. Oh, I see people putting them all around the exterior. Put some cabbage, some bean sprouts, some onions, and then all that oil kind of drips off and flavors all those veggies. Oh, that doesn't need too long, I wouldn't say. It said it's Australian mutton. Woo-wee. All right, let's dig in. All right, I think this all looks just about done. Take it off the grill. It smells so good. And then grab my chopsticks here, and they've given us a sauce back here, which I'm not totally sure what kind of sauce it is. Jingisukan sauce, I guess. Let's go for a dip. Oh yeah, full submerge. Yum. Oh man, tender, very tender. You definitely do get a hint of the mutton, but that's what it's all about. Super, super smoky. Everything in here is smoky. That sauce has a very strong garlic flavor. It's quite a thick sauce. Just going for one more bite. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Awesome, awesome. Just thin cuts. You can really go generous with this sauce. It's delicious. Piece of onion. Oh. Oh man. Also, whenever you have this kind of DIY style barbecue here in Japan, be it yakiniku or Jingisukan, it's always fun to just kind of sit here with your friends, drink beer, cook, and then the beer here, of course, super fresh. I mean, they make it on site, and some of the beer is limited only to this beer garden, like the 5-star here. All right, I need to focus on not burning this meat. Get this nice and oily, nice and greasy. It just completely melts that piece of fat. And then over here we've got some marinated Jingisukan, marinated with miso. So let's put this all on there. Super hot. Oh yeah. Man, that smells so good. This is really tasty, guys. I love it. And the atmosphere in here, crazy. Lots of people, packed. So I definitely recommend make a reservation before you come, unlike we did, or you'll have to wait and drink lots of beer with the local. There's tons of people here. Everybody's having a good time. It's only Wednesday night, and this stuff doesn't take long because the cuts are really thick. And I can smell the miso on that one. Kind of tangy smell to it. Let's try this miso marinated. You definitely can taste the miso. Wow. I can't believe how tender it is. It literally takes a minute and a half to cook each piece. Let's chase it with some of these veggies. Kind of burnt some of them. Bean sprouts, cabbage. Yeah. You gotta try this when you come to Sapporo. Also, the building that we're dining in is just so cool. Brick walls inside of like a brewery. It feels so cool. We were pretty full from the miso ramen, so we went with a la carte and not all you can eat, but we're slightly regretting that now because it's really small pieces of meat, so I would recommend the all you can eat if you come here. We just ordered these frozen cuts. They're like round cuts. Let's try the frozen cuts. This sauce is so good. You can really drench it. That cut is a lot thicker and it tastes less fatty, less oily. That was really good. I definitely recommend it. However, I think the price is kind of crazy, like $1,700 for one plate of a couple thin strips of mutton. And usually mutton's not too expensive, but that's it. So here it is, Japan's famous sakura, or cherry blossom tree. It has a very short season, and I've been told that maybe in just 3 days from now, the wind should probably blow all of these off. So I'm not a botanist, but as I understand it, there's a couple different types of cherry blossoms. This is a more of a white color, and this blooms a little bit earlier, but then there's another one, they call it like 7 flower or something like that, the translation is, and it's more pink. And as I understand it, I think that's only here in Hokkaido, the more pinker one, and there's a couple that are more in blossom than this tree here. But as you can see, this is very popular. All the photographers here, myself included, taking lots of pictures of this. It's absolutely beautiful. And then the floor is just covered in all the cherry blossom petals. Beautiful. So besides the sakura, there are also tons of flowers. I think these are tulips, and pink and yellow, purple. Wow, so nice. The weather a little cool, but just got a thin jacket on, so nothing too crazy. So this is the other type that I was talking about. You can see it's more pinkish and a little bit of a smell, but it's looking a little bit bare. I think a lot have already blown off. There was a couple windy days the last couple days. Absolutely beautiful, so peaceful here. I can't believe the amount of flowers they've planted besides these gorgeous cherry blossom trees. This is the time to come to Hokkaido, I think. Spring, I mean, it's really popular to come here in the winter for their snow festival, but spring here is just absolutely gorgeous. So nice. So Maruyama Park is home to the Hokkaido Jingu Shrine. It was built in the 1800s. We're gonna go inside and take a closer look, but already from the outside, absolutely beautiful. This is a beautiful Shinto shrine, just like all Japanese shrines, extremely peaceful. This one has a lot of nice old tall trees around. Perfect place for taking pictures, and quite empty here on a Monday morning. Wow, beautiful park and beautiful shrine. We're gonna head into the downtown core of Sapporo now and say goodbye to the peaceful shrines of Japan and into the busy city center. Let's go. Sapporo is considered a small city in terms of Japanese cities, and just to give you an idea though, this station, Odori Station, has over 37 exits at this station, so small Japanese standards, but definitely not small. In Japan, you'll find lots of these covered shopping arcades. This one is called Tanuki Koji Shopping Street, right in the center of Sapporo. And we are heading to try something very unique that you can have here in Sapporo. It's called soup curry, and it's an original invention of Sapporo and unique to this area. So let's go try famous Sapporo soup curry. So this restaurant is called Soup Curry Garaku. You might be familiar with Japanese curry, which is a thick curry similar to like an Indian curry. But soup curry, totally different. It was invented here in Sapporo in the 1970s, and we've just ordered up our bowl of soup curry here at Garaku. So you can see it's a much, much thinner curry, not like a thick Indian curry. This is totally different. There's all kinds of vegetables in here, like packed full of vegetables. There's mushrooms, there's carrots, there's broccoli and cauliflower, there is a lotus root, and then we ordered it with the sliced pork belly. And just go for a dunk in my curry and tried it like that. First time trying soup curry here in Sapporo. It's a very thin broth, like the name suggests. It's soupy, it's not thick like a regular curry, but it's got the flavor of a curry, very strong curry flavor. Okay, let me go in for some of these goodies here. There's all kinds of things. I can't believe how much they've jam-packed in here. There must be like 10 or 15 different veggies in here. Let's try a piece of carrot with a mushroom, and then maybe a piece of pork here as well. Let's try that. Really nice flavor. You know, I think I do prefer regular Japanese curry because I really like a thick, creamy curry sauce. But this is also nice. Something different. Ooh, yeah, that is really good. And you can pick your level of spiciness. We picked hot, but I wouldn't say it's too hot. This looks like, I don't even know. It looks like an artichoke, I think. And their rice is almost like a little bit spiced, I think. Yum. Let's try this lotus root. Such an amazing vegetable. Still crisp. This bowl is just full of surprises. There's so many ingredients in here. I just found a potato, and it looks like a quail's egg as well. Like I said, I think I do prefer like a classic Japanese curry, because when I go for curry, I want that really thick, rich curry broth or sauce. This is good though. It's much lighter, but very hearty with all of the ingredients inside. It's like a soft boiled quail's egg. All right, really good. That feels super healthy with all of those veggies and the light soup, but I am also very full, so it's very hearty. And Hokkaido, like I've been talking about all day, is famous for their high quality ingredients, and another thing that they're super famous for are their desserts, in particular anything dairy. So their dairy products are really high quality. And one of my favorite things in the entire world are cheese tarts. You might have heard of Pablo cheese tarts or Bake, Hokkaido milk cheese tarts. There's all kinds of different brands, but there's one here in Sapporo called Kinotoya Bake that is supposed to be the best, so let's go try it out. A beautiful pastry crust on the outside filled with gorgeous cheese filling. I may or may not have already eaten 3 of these off camera, but that's a secret. So let's try it one more. Let's try the first one. These are so good, guys. This, for me, is the pinnacle of dessert. This is exactly what I want for dessert every single time. It's got that kind of tangy cheese going on, and then it's got a nice, crunchy, crispy, almost caramelized tasting crust around the outside. You can see it's filled completely to the bottom with that cheese tart filling. Famous Hokkaido dairy. These are so addictive. Oh my god, that is good. And the most dangerous thing about these is that my hotel is right beside the shop. I'm gonna be here every day. All right, time for a beer. And I know what you're thinking, Luke, why have you not had a Sapporo beer yet? But this is just day 1. We're here for a couple days, and of course we're going to be having lots of Sapporo beer. We're actually going to be visiting the beer museum in another episode, but I actually spotted a shop that's selling a very unique type of beer that I want to try out, so let's go grab one right now. Got the goods. This is a cool little souvenir shop with all kind of Hokkaido themed things to bring home from your trip, but the thing that I was most interested in was this special type of beer that they had right out front. I'm really happy to find it because I didn't think I was going to be able to find it, so we're going to take it back to the hotel now and try it out. This is Abashiri draft beer from Abashiri in northern Hokkaido. So they use a lot of interesting ingredients in this beer. They use drift ice, so it's kind of like icebergs that they use, the water from the icebergs, and they also use seaweed and local flowers and Chinese yam. But that's not the most interesting thing about this beer. Let me show you. All right, check this out. I am looking forward to trying this because I've never seen anything quite like it. And if you can tell, that beer is blue. There are no artificial colors, all natural ingredients. And can you see that? Like, that is really blue. Look at that. Come in close on that. Look at how blue that beer is. That is so, so cool. So that is what makes this beer so unique and the reason I wanted to try it out. Although it looks like it might have some kind of fruity flavor or something because of the blue color, it doesn't at all. It tastes like a very hoppy craft beer. A little bit bitter, but wow, I just can't get over it. Like, it's more blue than I thought it was. I'm at the Nishiki market. This is known as Kyoto's Kitchen. It's like your one-stop shop for all traditional Kyoto foods, and it's quite touristy, but they're serving very traditional, authentic foods from Kyoto. You have to visit here if you're a tourist. It's a covered shopping street. It's been here for over 1,000 years, but the actual building itself has been here for about 400 years. So we're just gonna take a tour through the Nishiki market, show you guys all the delicious foods to try. And we're here with Japan Wonder Travel, the best tour company in all of Japan. If you're doing any trip to Japan, make sure to check out Japan Wonder Travel because they have all kinds of great food tours in Japan, and we're on their Nishiki tour right now, so let's go. For our first stop on the Nishiki market tour, we stopped at this tofu shop, so specializing in all things tofu, but what really caught my eye was this automatic donut dispensing machine they have out front. So it's kind of just like plopping the donuts into the oil and then moving them along like conveyor belt style. But these aren't your typical donuts. These are soy milk donuts. So soy milk is what's used to make tofu. This is a tofu shop, and we've got a bag of the soy milk donuts here. These guys are super fluffy, tiny little things, not covered in sugar, just plain. Let's give this a try. Still hot and fresh. Oh man, they're so fluffy. They're like a biting into a pillow. Not a strong flavor. I can't say it tastes like tofu. A little bit sweet. It's all about the texture though, it's just fluffy. Yum. So we have another one of their products, another soy-based product. This is the tofu skin. They call it tofu skin. It's kind of just like the top layer of the soy whey that they kind of peel off. And I've got this shoyu here. I'm gonna put soy sauce a little bit in the corner here. And then they've also given me some wasabi. And just look at the texture of that. One of my favorite things. Also very good in like a hot pot. Very good fried. The flavor is definitely just the wasabi and the shoyu, but the texture of the tofu skin is like silky, silky smooth, delicate. Try another one here. Get a little bit of that wasabi. Well, actually that's really yummy. The texture is beautiful. Silky smooth. Yum. If you're a tofu lover, it's basically just thin slices of tofu. Yum.
Nishiki market might have a lot of good looking food that you want to try it all at once, but the most important rule is you have to finish your food before you get going. Eating while walking is not allowed here, so you have to finish it first.
One more thing this tofu shop has is its own tofu vending machine. They have vending machines for everything here in Japan. They've got tofu, they've got the yuba, which we just tried, the tofu skin, and they even have these dog treats that are soy-based dog treats, healthy for your dog. You can find everything here in Japan in a vending machine. So we just came right next door to the tofu shop. We just had donuts, and now I'm having ice cream, so definitely not the healthiest breakfast you can have here in Kyoto, that's for sure. But I couldn't pass up on trying this because this isn't your typical soft serve ice cream. As you can see, it's got this red tinge, and that's because this is sashimi ice cream. So Japanese 7 spice. It's like a chili spice that you can put on pretty much anything here. Never seen it in ice cream though, so this will be my first time trying. It's actually not as strong as I thought. It tastes pretty much just like a regular vanilla ice cream. Oh, actually, once you swallow it, you can start to feel a little bit of the spice in the back of your throat. It's not spicy, but it's a Japanese 7 spice, so it's like a complex flavor. Yeah, actually, the longer it sits on your tongue, the more you can taste the sashimi. Actually, it's really good. Spicy ice cream. This is definitely the first time I've ever tried it. It's actually really good. This is it right here. Sashimi ice cream, awesome. So we just stopped at another shop that's selling all kinds of different things. They're making some fresh tempura, so battered and fried, different things, but they also had this really interesting looking, it looks like crab leg, but it's not totally a crab leg. This is it right here. You can see it's way too big to be an actual crab leg. This was 400 yen. It's actually a mix of crab and fish cake, so it's like imitation crab. Let me try to pull it apart. Oh, it's super, super stringy. I'm just gonna grab it with my fingers here. And this one has been grilled over top of a gas grill, and go for a little dip. Oh, it's just like falling apart. A little dip in the soy sauce here. It's imitation crab. It's pretty good. Not my favorite. A little bit smoky. And the texture is like fish cake. There's a ton of stuff to try here. Some of it a little bit catered towards tourists, maybe like that fish cake, but some of it very authentic. But there's just so much to see here. Look at all this fresh seafood. So I just popped into a little izakaya, and Kyoto is very famous for its sake. Because of the water quality, the groundwater is really high quality, pure groundwater. They can make really good quality sake here in Kyoto. And this is definitely not part of a balanced breakfast. Today's video, ice cream, donuts, and sake. I don't recommend eating that for breakfast, but we're on a tour, so that's what we're gonna have. You can see that it's served in this little box and then it's overflowing. That's the traditional style. So after you drink it, you can take the box and pour it in. Let's give this a try. I can smell it already. Oh, it's actually really, really good. Super smooth. If you've never had sake, it's not like a strong alcohol, but it's also not like a wine. It's got a sweetness to it. It's rice wine. It goes down very, very smooth. We're gonna have some food with this though too. So we've got some food to enjoy with our sake. The first one back here is the egg omelet, but this is a special Kyoto style. It's called dashi yaki. So it's an omelet made with dashi. There's also green onions in it. It's different than the one in Tokyo, which will be like sweet. This one's more savory. And then this back here is called namafu. It's a wheat gluten that's been deep fried, and it's topped with miso, you can see. Let's try a little piece of this omelet back here though. You see just how juicy it is, all of that dashi coming out of it. Two Kyoto specialties here. Yeah. Oh, that is really, really good. It bursts in your mouth with all the dashi. A little bit of a green onion flavor. Chase it down with some sake. Yeah, that's totally different than the tamago that I've tried at like sushi restaurants in Japan. It's usually almost like a dessert at the end of your meal. It's really sweet. Sorry, the tamago in Tokyo, completely different than the one here in Kyoto. This is gonna be my first time ever trying this one. It's called namafu, so it's fried gluten. Oh wow. It's kind of like a mochi. Really gummy, chewy, and then it's got that tangy kind of miso on top. Goes good with the sake too. There's some daikon radish shredded or grated on the side here, and then with a little bit of soy sauce, you can put it on top of this. I should cut it in half. These are really juicy and good. I love this. Totally different than the tamago you're probably familiar with, usually with sushi. This is really good. Nice with the daikon. Top up my sake here. That's so cool. Such an interesting culture around drinking here. Oh, that is just super good sake too. I thought it was going to be like too much to have at 11 a.m., but honestly, it's super smooth and delicious. Finished off with our sake, and the nice part about Nishiki Market is you can just stroll along and every stall has something new to see and try. So we're just like 5-10 meters down from the last one. We're at the next one now. So this next shop has some different types of seafood, some of them grilled, some tempura, and this is something I've actually never tried before. It's called Hamo. So this is a sea eel. There are different types of eels to try here in Japan. There's unagi, there's anago, and then this is Hamo. I've tried the other two, but I've never tried this one before. So tempura, fried, and salted. You can see a little piece of fish on the inside, and apparently these are pretty bony, so it takes quite a technique to make sure there's no bones in it. I'll try. Really crunchy, crispy, and then nice, fresh, soft fish on the inside. Salty too. You don't really need a sauce for this. You just have it like this with a little bit of salt on top. Actually, really good. Let me see. It's got a pretty thick batter on it, but it's also a fair piece of fish on the inside, or eel. So he's chopping up the Hamo here, and you can see that he's already removed all the bones, but you can see there's like millions of little cuts that he had to make in each one to remove all of the bones to get that beautiful, delicate fish. And this is the final result. And then over here, she's frying them up. Tip for coming to Nishiki Market, well, go on Japan Wonder Travels tour first of all, but if you are coming by yourself, come early in the morning. Most of the shops open around 9:30, 10, but if you come around noon, it's gonna get insanely busy in here. Kyoto is definitely suffering from a bit of over-tourism, so you're gonna wanna plan your trip accordingly. So this little guy right here is something you're going to see at the Nishiki Market because this is one of the most famous things to try here. This is called Tako Tamago, which means octopus egg. So inside of the head of this little guy here, there is a boiled egg. I guess maybe it's a quail's egg because this one's pretty small. And years ago, I came to Kyoto and I remember trying this and I was not a fan whatsoever. So let's try it out. Let's see if my taste has changed. Yeah, it's really juicy. Look how much juice is coming out of that. Yeah, it's got a boiled egg on top. It's really like strong seafood flavor with a little bit of almost like it tastes like a sweet sauce on the outside. And this bright red octopus, just such a strong seafood flavor. It's really overpowering. Yeah, still not a huge fan, but definitely can handle it better than the first time I tried it. Let's try one of these little tentacles. Chewy, fishy, not my favorite, but you've got to try it. I don't think I've ever seen this anywhere else in Japan, only here at the Nishiki Market. And Ming's gonna try it for the first time now.
Just wanna say, this is Luke forced me to try this one, so I have to try. To be honest, I'm kind of scared, but actually, the taste is not as scary as I thought it's gonna be. It's a little sweet, but because it's kind of like it's sweet and it's cold. But I don't know, this is like a symbolic food of Kyoto that you have to try and you have to come here and try, and you know.
You ate the egg out of the head. Look at the top now. Look at this.
It's hard to.
Empty now.
I can't bite it. Anyways, it's not as scary as I thought. Like, Luke scared me.
It is a little bit weird that it's served cold though. I think the cold thing is the weird part.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of the octopus, but apparently Mink likes it a lot. So maybe it's just that I don't have the Asian taste buds that she does. But we're gonna go right across the street to the next one. We're gonna have a beef cutlet. So this is a beef shop. They've got all kinds of different beef products. Wagyu here in Japan. Anytime you have beef, it's gonna probably be the best beef you've ever eaten. At least for me, every time I come here, you get a steak, you get anything with beef. It's just the quality is just so much better than anywhere else in the world. But we actually ordered up their beef cutlet or croquette. These are also really delicious. You can get these all across Japan. They're these breaded, deep fried, sometimes stuffed with beef, minced beef, or you can get them with different things. This one is fresh out of the fryer, super hot, probably gonna burn my mouth, but let's try it anyway. Whoa. You can see the steam coming off of it. It's so delicious. I think there's onions in there as well. Minced beef, super juicy, but it's so crunchy on the outside. Yeah, and this is the quality of the beef here. It's just insane. That is awesome. Yum. So that's it for the Nishiki market. Really amazing market. You have to visit it. Kyoto is definitely not as famous as some of the other cities in Japan for its food scene, such as Osaka, which is very famous, but what Kyoto is really known for is its beautiful ancient architecture, its temples. So we're finished off with our Nishiki market tour. We're going to head on a little bit of a temple tour, and we're going to show you some temple food, some vegetarian Buddhist cuisine. But first, let's go explore the beautiful Ryoanji temple. So we are at Ryoanji Temple, one of the thousands of temples you can visit here in Kyoto. This is the city of beautiful temples, and Japan is known for its 4 seasons. We visited previously in Sakura season, but now it is autumn, it is fall. You can see the colors of the they call these momiji. These are the little maple, I don't think they're maple leaves, but they kind of look like maple leaves. And it is just beautiful colors of orange and yellow and green and red. This is maybe even more beautiful than Sakura season. Actually, for sure, this is more beautiful. It's so much more colorful. And yeah, everywhere you look, it's just like a stunning picture opportunity. We're gonna go inside the temple now. It's a famous rock garden temple, so let's go see the rock garden. So this is the Ryoanji Rock Garden, probably the most famous rock garden in all of Japan. So it's kind of like a gravel area that they rake that gives it this sort of wavy texture, and then there's a couple big rocks in between that have a little bit of moss growing on them. It's like a Zen garden, but I will say the peacefulness is kind of taken away when the big tour groups arrive. I came to this exact same temple about 8 years ago, and I had the whole place to myself. I was able to sit there in utter silence. You know, Japan is definitely having a problem with over-tourism. The highest recorded record of tourists coming in was just October 2023, even higher than pre-pandemic levels. So it spoils it a little bit, but still an incredibly beautiful temple, one of the most popular in Kyoto. And then with the autumn colors, you get these pops of red and yellow. It just makes it even more beautiful. So that was the temple with the rock garden, but honestly, I think the park surrounding it is even more beautiful. It's more of like a garden, the entire thing, very well manicured, and we're just going to take a walk around, take in all these beautiful sights of these incredible autumn colors. I love Japanese gardens. Every time I come to Japan, I love to visit Japanese gardens, but in the fall, it's just like such an incredible vibe. It probably is my new favorite season, even better than Sakura season. And here at the Ryoanji Temple, there's actually a restaurant inside of the temple grounds, which is all vegetarian Buddhist monk cuisine, which is famous here in Kyoto. So we're gonna go have a tofu lunch. Beautiful restaurants I've ever been in my entire life. This is directly inside of the Ryoanji temple grounds, and they only serve one dish. It's a Yudofu. It's like a tofu hot pot, and sitting on tatami floor, sitting on the ground. Look at this beautiful view behind me in a traditional Japanese building, just waiting for the Yudofu to arrive. This is just incredibly beautiful though. So this is their only dish on the menu, their Yudofu. It's a tofu hot pot, so traditional Buddhist monk food. There's a lot of monks here in Kyoto. Tofu, looks like some veggies in there. I see like one little shiitake mushroom in there. Let me grab a piece of tofu here. And then we've also got this sauce back here. I'm just gonna dump the whole thing in the sauce here and try that. So delicate, silky smooth. Sauce is just very light shoyu sauce with some sesame seeds, but all the flavors coming from that sauce. This is a very light, not very flavorful dish whatsoever. I'm so bad at sitting on the floor. My legs are killing me right now. But gotta do it because it's part of the atmosphere, part of the experience. Also have a little pickled daikon here. Pickles in Kyoto are very famous. A little bit sweet actually, quite salty. This is just such a peaceful restaurant. Listening to the water running, looking out at the beautiful leaves. Uncomfortably sitting on the tatami floor, but still worth it.
So coming from a Nishiki market to here, it's like a different world. This is so peaceful. And one rule here, you have to be good at using chopstick. I cut it in half. Let's see if I'm good enough. Oh yeah, right in my mouth.
There's really a ton of tofu in here. Just a little bit of veggies as well. Very healthy food. It's simple but delicious. And yeah, like Mick was saying, you gotta be really good at using chopsticks to deal with this silky smooth tofu. And I think I'm gonna have to get my leg amputated after this. Completely cut off the circulation. So if you're ever visiting the Ryoanji temple, you can try out this incredibly beautiful restaurant, tofu restaurant. The food good, but the view is what it's all about here. Their garden is just stunning. I want one of these at my house in the future.
So we just left the tofu restaurant and now we're in a beautiful walking street of Kyoto, which is also one of the most famous tourist spots. And because it's getting colder, I just got myself a matcha latte. Oh, that's good. Oh, warming me up.
So this is Ninenzaka. It's a beautiful little walking street that leads to the Kiyomizudera temple, which is our ultimate destination. It gets dark really early here, like 4:45 sunset. So we're trying to get there before the sunset, but I don't know if we're gonna make it. This is insane. The amount of tourists here is just crazy. Look at this. It is just literally an endless flow of tourists. Lots of Chinese tourists, lots of American tourists, lots of Japanese tourists. It is just seriously crowded here. Like, I have never seen anything quite like it.
And Thai tourists too.
And a lot of Thai tourists too. You hear all kinds of different languages here. We've just made it up to the gate, to the entrance to Kiyomizudera. We're gonna try to make our way up. Try to swim our way up through the crowds. It's like salmon swimming upstream. Tonight for dinner we are at a restaurant called Kinobu. This is a Michelin star restaurant and they're specializing in Kaiseki. So Kaiseki is the quintessential Kyoto cuisine. It's similar to an omakase whereas it's a set menu chosen by the chef and it's seasonal, so every season it's changing. So we're gonna sit down for a multi-course meal at this beautiful restaurant, traditional Japanese style, and show you all the different dishes that we're gonna be trying tonight. Before our meal starts, we're just taking a little tour of Kinobu, and it's quite an intense operation that they have here. So it's so seasonal that they actually have different plates and dishes for every single month. So 12 different sets. Not only the plates changing every single month, but they also have different artwork for every single month to kind of represent the season, what you're seeing around Kyoto. So it's a serious operation. So there's 12 different private dining rooms, all private dining rooms here at Kinobu. That's the traditional Kaiseki style. So we're gonna go back upstairs and start eating. So we've got our own private room, just like everybody who dines at Kinobu, and we've got an incredible view of a little Japanese garden there. It's sitting on the floor, but there's actually like an indent in the floor. So luckily, I'm not gonna destroy my knees at this restaurant. So let the show begin. The first dish has arrived. Well, actually starting off with the sake. So she just came and brought us a beautiful looking sake, and we have our first dish. This is actually a crab dish. So it's crab that's been wrapped in turnip, and then there's some crab meat here that is mixed with like the crab miso, or like the head juices, and this just looks absolutely beautiful. Even the presentation of the dish is so beautiful. He was just telling us a story downstairs that sometimes the newbies working here will maybe break one of these plates, and some of these plates go for like hundreds, thousands of dollars. Let's try our first bite. Oh my gosh, yum. I'm not sure if it's yuzu, but it's got a jelly on the top that has like a little bit of a citrusy flavor, and then like a crunchy turnip, and then creamy crab meat on the inside. Oh my gosh, we're off to a good start, and served nice and chilled. Taste with a little bit of sake. So this is the crab meat mixed with some of the tamale, the head juices. Really delicate, super fresh, yum. Dish number 2, beautiful presentation. This is a flatfish, and then it's served on top of, this is called shirako. You can see right here, it's actually cod sperm sacks. Definitely doesn't sound appetizing, but it's very popular here in Japan. And then it's got the ponzu sauce, and then served with some wasabi. Let's try. It's very good. It's actually very light in flavor, not a very strong flavor. We'll hit a wasabi ponzu. The sperm sack explodes in your mouth, to put it bluntly.
Alright, my first time trying the sperm sack. Oh, destroyed already.
How do you describe that? Creamy?
I mean, if you don't know what it is, it's just like you eating jelly with all of a sudden like birds in your mouth. It's good experience.
Definitely the first time I've ever eaten the sperm sacks on camera. Probably the last too. And that wasabi, like the real wasabi here, just hits differently. Like so much better than the horseradish or whatever you're getting in Canada. It just goes straight up your nose though. You gotta go really gentle with it. Dish number 3, and beautiful lacquer bowl. This is part of the experience, just seeing all these incredible presentations. And this one is a crab soup. So it's like actually like a crab dumpling, and I'm not sure if you can tell, but there is an entire crab shell there. Let me just try the soup first with some yuzu on top as well. It's like a really thick, kind of gelatinous soup. You can taste the crab. A little bit salty, a little bit sweet. Let's try some of the crab meat, or that dumpling inside. So I'm not really sure what I'm looking at here, but it seems as though, yes, okay, so this is a crab shell, and then the inside is like, they called it a dumpling, but it's like steamed, I'm guessing. Oh yeah, look at all that crab meat. Lots of crab so far in this meal. No complaints at all. That's even better than the first crab dish. Super, super fresh crab, stringy, just melts in your mouth. I'm not totally sure what's in that soup, but it's really like complex, rich broth. Yum. There's a lot of meat in there. I'm just gonna keep picking away at this. This is awesome. Getting deeper into the crab dumpling here, and you can see that bright orange crab roe, those eggs. Oh, this one's really good. There's a ton of meat in there. It's really packed full. Yeah, so delicate. Yum. Crab here in Japan is just something you have to try. Like everybody talks about, you know, Wagyu beef or the Otaru tuna, but the crab here is some of the best crab every time I come here. Yum. Okay, next up, beautiful box once again. Oh, and I think like part of the reason they serve it in a box like that is because as soon as you open it, you get all of the aroma. This is a fried dish, so this is taro that has a mullet roe, and then it's on top of a little bit of some sort of a gelatin as well. And oh man, I'm just destroying it. I hate doing this because it looks so beautiful. You don't even want to touch it, but you have to if you want to eat it. And then I can see some yuzu on top of it as well. Let's try. Creamy taro, and then mullet roe, so dried mullet eggs on the inside. Very salty, but the taro is just so creamy, and then whatever that batter is that's fried in is amazing. You get a little bit of yuzu, and then I think that's like a yuzu gelatin or something on the bottom there as well. This is very unique. I've never had anything like it. That taro just completely melts in your mouth. Yum. Okay, next up we've got a dish served in this earthenware pot. It's kind of bubbling away here, and this is gonna be my first time ever trying this dish. Actually, quite a few things so far in this meal. The cod sperm sack and the mullet roe, I actually had never tried that either. And then this one right here, if you look inside, we have a somewhat controversial menu item. This is shark's fin. So very popular in not only in Japan but also in China. It's full of collagen, full of fat, and it's just falling apart my chopsticks, so I gotta go in with my spoon. There's also some tofu in there as well, and like it or not, this is definitely something Japanese people like to eat. Let's try. Wow, the texture is not what I was expecting at all. It's almost like the texture of the crab, like it's stringy. It kind of falls apart in your mouth. It's got layers and layers and layers, but it's also very like glutinous and fatty. And then this broth that it's in is a really thick and creamy broth. It's actually very good. Like the texture is incredible. It's somewhere between like a mushroom and like crab meat, I'd say. Somewhere between there.
So I'm gonna try the tofu here. Doesn't taste like a normal tofu. I can taste a little bit of like sesame, I'm not sure, but it's delicious.
I'm not sure you can tell on the camera, but it is like super stringy. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like the crab meat, like it kind of just falls apart piece by piece, or almost like if you've ever had stingray, it's kind of like stingray. So my first time trying it. I mean, it's a very premium ingredient. You're only gonna get it at a restaurant that's high end like this one. I think it's more of a texture thing than a flavor thing. The flavor is dominated by that broth, which is like a dashi with some chicken stock, some ginger. That tofu is really different than normal tofu too. It has sesame in it. You can taste sesame, and it's not like, it doesn't kind of melt like a tofu, but it's more like got a texture of almost like mochi, like it's kind of gummy, chewy in your mouth. It's different. Good though. Yeah, you can taste sesame. It's like mochi. It tastes like sesame mochi almost. Like a tangyuan with mochi, or with sesame inside. So we're nearing the end of our meal. We've got a couple of other things that just came out. This here is our rice dish, and it's got a piece of anago, so eel, and then there's some really interesting ingredient in there. It's called a lily bulb, so like the lily flower, I guess, and then the bulbs right there. And then we've got a miso soup in this here. It's a red miso. I love this lacquerware. And then we've got some, this is like a kelp that's been cooked in soy sauce, and then pickled squash back there. But let me just try a piece of this anago with some of the rice. Getting quite full though. They serve the rice at the end of the meal to kind of top you up and get you full. I'm gonna chase it with one of these lily bulbs. So many ingredients I've never had before in this meal. Even after 8 years of doing this, there's still things I've never even tasted before, didn't even know you could eat. Yum. It's actually a little bit sweet. It's got the texture of like a boiled potato, and that's a beautifully cooked anago eel on top of the rice. Yeah, this is gonna fill me up for sure. What a meal. For dessert, we've got a beautiful coconut ice cream with strawberries, and if you know anything about Japan, you know that the strawberries here are of the highest quality in the world, and sometimes they can go for just astronomical prices. Wow. There's also some caramelized nuts in there as well. That strawberry is just so juicy. And I will say, I've eaten at a lot of restaurants, a lot of fancy restaurants like this one, and one thing that these fancy restaurants tend to screw up is dessert. Not here. That is an amazing dessert. That's probably the best thing of the meal, actually, the dessert. Incredible. Coconut ice cream with caramelized, I think that might be chestnuts, and then with the strawberry. Oh my god. That's like the best dessert I've ever had. Yum. It's like caramel popcorn and strawberry shortcake and coconut. Incredible. Yum. Do a little fit check here. I've got a nice little bag. There's so many layers to this. This has a little snap thing like this. She's tied me up real tight, and you can see I've even got the shoes with the special socks. Yep, quite an experience. Awesome for taking pictures, and what a beautiful place to walk around here, the Sankeien garden. Awesome wearing the kimono and just taking some pictures here. One more thing, also the umbrella. Luckily, it's not raining today, because I don't think this would do a very good job in the rain. I think it's made of paper, but completes the outfit. So actually this park used to be the private residence of a local Yokohama billionaire who made his fortune selling silk back in the day. Now it's open to the public, anybody can come and visit here. There's also all kinds of historical relics and architecture, like 400-year-old buildings. The leaves are starting to change color. It's not as vibrant as we saw in Kyoto. I think we're a little bit early for Yokohama, but just incredible, incredible views. There are definitely still some opportunities to see some beautiful autumn colors here in Yokohama right now. Look at this incredible, incredible carpet of yellow leaves right here from this massive tree. Wow. Besides the incredible views here at Sankeien, you can also find some snacks. We just stopped at this little shop here that's selling some traditional Japanese sweets. So this is called dango mochi. So it's mochi on a stick, and then it's served with a beautiful, beautiful matcha tea. And then over here, this is another type of dango, but this is really cool. They've got all these different toppings. So that's sweet potato, edamame, chestnut, and then pumpkin. Let's try the matcha. To be totally honest, I'm not a huge matcha lover like I know some people are. It's a little bit bitter for me. Let's chase it with some mochi. Oh, they're stuffed. Yum. I think that's sesame on the inside of that one. Yum. So this one is the mochi on the bottom, but then it's got these kind of purees on the top. This one, the orange one, is pumpkin. So let's try that. I'm just gonna take it all in one bite. Oh, it's warm. Oh. It's delicious. Super chewy, and then creamy pumpkin flavor on the top. Yum. Let's try the chestnut next. Yum. Oh, I love chestnut. Yum. 7 people standing there watching me right now. Finish off at Sankeien Garden. Beautiful park, incredible place to take pictures, especially if you're wearing kimono like this. But now it's time to go taste some of Yokohama's famous food. We're going for Gyutanabe, a beef hot pot. Let's go. So we're here at Araiya restaurant to try the famous Gyutanabe, which originates here in Yokohama. But first they just brought us out an appetizer, some beautiful looking sashimi. So we've got amberjack and then some amazing tuna. Oh, just can't go wrong with tuna here in Japan. Let me grab a little bit of wasabi and then go for just a little dip in the soy sauce here. Yum, super fresh, melts in your mouth. I think it tastes even better because I'm wearing a kimono. Just waiting for the Gyutanabe to arrive. So the Gyutanabe has arrived and look at the beautiful, beautiful beef here. The fat marbling in there, it just looks incredible. You can see all of that fat. So it's simmering away in this little kind of hot pot. And then there's other ingredients too. We've got some tofu, there's some greens back here, little noodles. There are some leeks back here, and then also shiitake mushroom, but really it's all about this beef, and you gotta kind of just let that simmer away and cook. It's on a little kind of candle tea light. And then the dipping sauce here in Japan, quite interesting. This is the dipping sauce. So it's just a raw egg. Give it a mix, get that yolk all mixed in, and that's gonna be what we dip the beef into. That is awesome. It's actually on the sweeter side. That broth that is simmering in is a little bit sweet, and then when you dip it in that egg yolk, it just completely coats it. It's so creamy. Look at how much beef is in here too. Really generous. Oh, that is amazing. One of my favorite things to eat in Japan. Any kind of nabe or hot pot or sukiyaki, shabu shabu, anything like that, so good. It's quite a healthy dish too. There's also some veggies, there's some leeks back here. Try one of these. Yum. Oh my god. The flavor of the broth, it's sweet, but now it's starting to get kind of infused with that beefy aroma from that amazing quality beef and all that fat kind of melting into it. Some noodles. Yum. Oh, you gotta try this in Yokohama. Seriously, seriously satisfying meal. And I feel like maybe some people might get a little freaked out with the raw egg yolk, but I promise you, it just works so well. It's like creamy and it just works incredibly well with the beef. Coats the outside. Oh, man, it's awesome. That was awesome. Anything with beef in Japan, you can rest assured it's gonna be delicious. So we're gonna continue our food tour here in Yokohama, but let me switch out of this kimono first. So I've changed back into my regular boring clothes and I've come now to Yokohama Chinatown. This is one of the most popular attractions in Yokohama. It's a street that is just lined with Chinese food. You can see the Chinese red lanterns. There's a big Chinatown gate. I've never actually been to a Chinatown in Japan before, so we're gonna kind of stroll around, see what we can find to snack on here. You can see just how popular the Yokohama Chinatown really is. It's packed with people, locals and tourists. It's a really vibrant Chinatown with all kinds of colors, all the lanterns, and we're just scoping out what Chinese food to try. Let's go eat. So we spotted a line at one of these shops and couldn't resist passing it up because they had some incredible looking barbecue buns, baked barbecue buns, and this is it. And just look at how delicate that is on the outside. It's so like delicate. It's got like a layer that's kind of hovering over the filling. So let's bite into this and see what's inside. Oh my, yum. Super juicy pork on the inside. It's like sweet pork. There's definitely got some of that kind of Chinese 5 spice. I don't know if you can see it there, but it is super juicy, creamy pork on the inside. And that bun on the outside is ridiculously like crumbly and delicate. Yum. Definitely on the sweet side. Not bad at all. Yum. So another really famous Chinese sweet. I'm kind of hesitant to call it a Chinese sweet because it's also Portuguese. This is the famous egg tart, famous especially in Macau. Let's try it out. Does not disappoint. Super creamy, silky smooth custard filling. And then that pastry on the outside has just got layers and layers. Really good. Look at that. I love the contrast between the super creamy inside and that flaky crust on the outside. Yum. So on to our next stop here in Chinatown, this time for some Taiwanese food. It's Taiwanese Ji-Pai, Taiwanese fried chicken, the best fried chicken in the world. Sorry, Korea and all you other fried chicken loving countries, but Taiwanese fried chicken just hits differently. And just check this out. It's bigger than my face. This is absolutely massive, and it just smells of 5 spice, a little bit of salt and pepper on the outside, freshly fried. Let's try it out. Oh, whatever that batter is, it gives these like bubbly, crunchy pieces on the outside, but the inside remains extremely juicy, tender chicken. I don't know if you can see, but it's just dripping with juice in there. Look at this. That is so juicy and good. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Yum. Just look at the size of it. Massive. Wow. Definitely got to check out Chinatown here in Yokohama. All kinds of delicious Chinese foods. We're finished with our snacking now, and we're taking you to another must-see attraction in Yokohama. It's the Cup Noodles Museum. Let's go. So I'm here at the Cup Noodle Museum in Yokohama. This is one of the most famous sites of them all. You can come here and learn about the brand and the inventor who created the iconic cup noodles, the instant noodles. Every university and college student owes their thank you to this man for creating one of the most incredible inventions of all time, instant noodles. And now I've come to my cup noodles factory where we're going to actually create our own custom cup of noodles. So first we have to kind of design the package, and then we'll start filling it up with the ingredients. I don't think they're going to be putting my design on any of their official cup noodles anytime soon, but we've got the chopstick travel and a little Canada flag. Why not, right? Showing off.
Chopstick right there, and that's like noodles and truffle. I got the red because this one got the red color. So
mine looks terrible. After you finish designing your cup, you can pick what base you want. So there's the regular like soy sauce base. They have curry, seafood, chili, tomato, and then you pick your ingredients. They have all kinds of different things, all dehydrated shrimps, meat, corn, veggies, fish cakes. So we're gonna go make our custom cup noodle. Now the hard part, we have to pick what ingredients to go in. The chili tomato, it's a little spicy. I kind of went like Korean style. I got chili base with a bunch of kimchi, cheese, and corn. So there it is, the final result is really cool. It goes through like a conveyor belt and it's all vacuum sealed up. I don't think this is gonna be their top selling cup noodle anytime soon, but I really like the kimchi. What did you get in yours, Meg?
I have egg, kimchi, corn, and then with cheese. Yeah.
All right, final step is to, I don't even really know what I'm doing here, putting it inside of the bag. I'm gonna inflate it so we can take it home, have a little souvenir from Cup Noodle Museum here in Yokohama. It's kind of cool. You like pump it up and then it makes this nice little bag that you can kind of show off your custom cup noodle. So you get to learn about the history of cup noodle and then you get to make your own noodles and then you can come to the shop and of course buy yourself some of their classic flavors after making your own custom flavor. Really unique experience. Never seen anything quite like it. Definitely got to try it out in Yokohama. So for dinner tonight, we've come for sushi. We've come to a conveyor belt sushi restaurant. So you can either order from the conveyor belt or pick your pieces up as they go by, or you can order up a plate like we did. This place is called Maguro Donya Group. It's a chain restaurant here in Yokohama in Japan, and we've got this incredible spread of sushi. So let me introduce everything here. So we've got tons of tuna on the plate, and that's just how I like it. So this is a marinated tuna. We've got crab here. This is a salted tuna. We've got otoro, chutoro, akami. Back here we've got the ikura, the salmon roe, and the uni, the sea urchin. This is a fish called kinki. And then we've got anago over here, so sea eel. This looks amazing. All right, let's start with the akami. That first bite of sushi when you visit Japan, it's always a special, special moment. That just tastes so good. Even that's the akami, the lean cut from the back of the tuna, it still just melts in your mouth. So I'm just working my way from least fatty to most fatty. This is the chutoro, so medium fatty. Oh my God. The heat from your tongue is enough to just completely melt it and turn it into a liquid. Incredible. And this is the prize cut of the tuna, the belly, tuna belly, the otoro. Look at that just chunk of fat in the middle there, streaks of fat. Only needs a tiny little bit of soy sauce. There's already wasabi underneath it. Incredible. If you've never had otoro, there's nothing quite like it. The amount of melt in your mouth factor is just beyond anything else. The only thing I can really compare it to is like a really fatty A5 Wagyu steak. It just completely disintegrates all that fat. Oh, so good. That was some really good sushi, especially that chutoro and otoro. We're gonna keep exploring Yokohama. There's so much to see here. Just took a beautiful ride in the Yokohama Air Cabin over the city. Incredible nighttime views. Wow, that's a stunning way to see the city. So we're gonna head to an area called Noge next, which is famous for its izakayas. So it's Friday night in Yokohama, and we've come to Noge, which is famous for izakayas, nightlife, and we just popped into this izakaya here that's popular for their yakitori. So yakitori is grilled chicken on a stick. We have one right here, and it's just dripping with juice, and it's great with sake, and what's even better to have it with is sake that's specifically made for a yakitori. This is sake with a picture of the yakitori. Look at that, it looks the exact same. Let's try the yakitori. Just grilled chicken on charcoal. Look at that beauty. Very smoky, super, super smoky. Yep. Oh, it's great with the sake. The second yakitori has arrived. This one is really interesting. I've never seen this before. It's pork wrapped around a bunch of pickled ginger. It's just dripping in juice. Whoa. You're gonna really love Japanese pickled ginger because that is really strong ginger flavor. Yakitori can roughly translate to beautiful things on a stick. This one is pork wrapped around lettuce, dripping in sauce. This is a questionable one bite, but I'm going for it. Super hot, fresh off the grill. And that one's like extremely juicy because the lettuce just soaks up all of that sauce. It's basically a salad. It's like grilled salad. On the first night of our trip to Yokohama, we stayed at the Westin Yokohama, a beautiful hotel with incredible design. The room that we stayed in was definitely the largest hotel room I've ever stayed at in Japan, with incredible views over Yokohama City. We also enjoyed a Japanese fine dining meal at the Iron Bay restaurant located in the Westin, with the highlight definitely being the Wagyu beef. We're here at Iron Bay at the Westin Hotel here in Yokohama, and we just sat down for an incredible meal. We've got our main course. It's a Yokohama beef Wagyu steak. Just check out this beauty. And they've given us this incredible custom knife. They said it's made by the same people that make the samurai swords, katana, and just cut through that like absolutely nothing. Butter. Look at that beauty right there. Oh my gosh. Wow. Just explodes with fat and flavor. Wow. Another great option for more affordable accommodation is the Oakwood Suites Yokohama. To be here, we're gonna stroll around, see all the fresh seafood that's coming in through Yokohama's port and then being shipped around the country and the world to be served at some of the best restaurants. We're gonna be exploring Yokohama for the day, showing you some incredible experiences that you can have in this amazing city. It's gonna be a great episode, so make sure you stay tuned until the end. Let's go explore the Yokohama Fish Market. We're working our way through the Yokohama Fish Market and just stopped at this stall. He has some tuna eyeballs. They're literally like the size of a baseball. And he's also got some samples. It's like minced up tuna with some miso. There's some onions and some veggies in there as well. Let's try it out. First bite of some fresh fish here at the Yokohama Fish Market. Oh, really good. Spiced up nicely. Taste the onions. Some crunchy, I think those are peppers in there. It's actually really good. A huge variety of different fish, all kinds of different colors, sizes, shapes, and like I was mentioning, this is only open to the public 2 days a month. Most of the time just open to people who are coming for their restaurant. These are all wholesalers, so people are buying in bulk, and it is just a feast for all the senses here. Super bustling today, and seeing all this fresh seafood and smelling it and getting to taste it, that's the best part. This is an interesting one right here. It's called shirako. It's cod sperm sacs. We tried it in Kyoto. Not my favorite. The things you spot in a fish market here in Japan is just incredible. We just came across two guys cutting open a fresh tuna, big tuna, but what's even crazier is the size of the knife that they're using to cut this thing open. I can't even really call it a knife, it's more of like a sword. It's probably 4 feet long or longer, and it took two guys maybe just 3-4 minutes to break open this tuna, cut it into the different cuts. Just beautiful to watch, and the meat just looks so fresh and good. So we spotted another snack for sale, and this one I just couldn't pass up. For only 100 yen, they are serving crab miso soup. I have it right here. So 100 yen, that's literally less than $1 US, and there's some crab legs in there and miso. Perfect on a cold morning here in Yokohama. Oh, it's delicious. Oh my gosh. There's probably not too much meat in that crab, but I mean, 100 yen. You can't really complain for what you're getting for that. Okay, so to my surprise, there's actually way more crab than I thought. It's half a crab, and there's quite a bit of meat in there, so let's try to see if we can suck some of that out. It's really hot. Oh my gosh. How is that 100 yen? That'd be like $20 in Canada. Wow. Delicious. And you know the locals love it. They're lined out the door for it. Getting every last piece of crab. Actually way more meat in there than I was expecting. Oh, that miso soup was so good. All right, it's time to get proper breakfast here at the Yokohama Fish Market. There are actually a few little restaurants in an alley here, so we're gonna pop into one and order up some local seafood. So we popped into this little restaurant located just on the outskirts of the market and serving simple, fresh seafood. And instead of going the raw route, which is very popular here in Japan, I've went with the fried route. So this is something that I've never tried before. This is actually katsu maguro, so tuna that's been fried. And just look at the exterior of that. Japanese people really know how to just fry anything really well. And there's some other dishes here, so a little bit of a tofu, it looks like with some bonito flakes on top. Back here we've got a miso soup, and oh yeah, lots of daikon in there as well. And then of course some rice, but I just gotta go for a piece of this fried maguro, and it looks like a little bit of some mayo on the side too. So crunchy. It's that like panko crust on the outside. It's got all kinds of little crunchy layers and texture, and then really beautiful tuna on the inside. You can taste the fresh tuna flavor. Like, it's not just like a deep fried coating on the outside and that's all you taste. No, you can taste that fresh, really high quality tuna. And then with a little dip in the mayo here, it just goes so well. Let's try this tofu, and just drizzle a little bit of soy sauce on top, and then you can see the dried bonito flakes. That beautiful, beautiful bonito, which gives so much flavor to everything here in Japan. Yeah, the bonito has such a smoky flavor. Nice cold tofu with a little bit of ginger on top there too. I thought the plate was all tuna, but it turns out this is not tuna because I can see the tail sticking out here. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but let's try. A little squeeze of lemon. I'm not totally sure what kind of fish it is, but it's really good too. Really fresh flavors. They just fry everything so well here in Japan. This is a really deluxe looking miso soup. There's daikon. This is called konnyaku, this one right here. I see some lotus root in there, some pieces of fish. Let's just try the broth. Yeah, just completes the meal, the miso. And what an experience to see all the fresh seafood there in the market and then just sit down just beside the market and taste some really fresh, high quality fish. Awesome. So we've just gotten a special privilege to come into the freezer room. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's freezing cold. Look at this. It's colder than I thought. And this is where they're keeping some tuna. You can see the ceiling is completely frozen. I can see a tuna back here. Holy crap. That's a tuna. All right, that's all I'm showing you. Goodbye. To finish off at the fish market, we actually took a guided tour, and you can too. Just make sure that you're gonna go on one of the 2 days a month that it is available, the first and third Saturday of every single month. And now we've come to Nippon Maru Park in the center of Yokohama. Yokohama is a port city, so it's got all kinds of awesome opportunities to take great photos of the port, the water, and then you've also got this really cool ship here, which also gives great opportunities for taking views. The city is just so clean, so nice, just like the rest of Japan, but what makes it really unique and special is that it's a port city. You've got the water views everywhere, you get a nice ocean breeze, the sun is shining. Having a great day here in Yokohama. We've made our way to the Yokohama Beer Brewery and Restaurant. We just got a little peek inside of their brewery. This is the oldest craft brewery here in Yokohama. Yokohama City is very well known for their beer, and this is one of the most popular brands. Of course, the namesake brand, Yokohama Beer. I've got myself one of their Kolsch, like a German style beer. We're also going to be having lunch here, and then after lunch we're going to be doing something really unique that I've never tried before. I'll keep it a little bit of a surprise, you guys will see in a bit, but let's try out the beer first. Really good. It's actually quite light, refreshing, a little bit hoppy and a little bit fruity at the same time. So we're finished off with our beer tasting from the Yokohama Beer Brewery, and now I'm going to take you for a really unique experience that you can have here in Yokohama. This is it right here. This is called a beer bike. Definitely never tried this in my life. We're going to be drinking some beer, we're going to be biking, and well, I don't even really know what to expect. This doesn't really look like a bike. There's going to be 6 of us on here, but well, let's see what we can get up to. Look at this thing. This is a beer bike. We're gonna be working out and drinking. Alright, we are well on our way. This is a great way to drink because you get a nice workout in while you're drinking. We're having some Christmas ale with cherry and cinnamon. Whew. This is just the beginning. Really cool experience though. I got live tunes, really good. The route is perfect for sightseeing here in Yokohama. You go past all the famous sites. You actually drive right on the main road. Everybody's super friendly. Apparently, you'd never get away with this in Tokyo. It is a workout though, like no joke. How do your legs feel?
Oh my god, it's kind of, it's shaking. How's yours?
Really tired. I don't know if it's the beer or it's the bike. Both.
Who knows?
So the perfect activity for after your beer bike experience when your legs are aching, maybe you've drank a little bit too much and you need to just kind of chill out, is come to this place called Mano Club. So we've come to the rooftop of the Mano Club and it's an onsen. So they have a foot bath up here. We've got our feet in the water. It is beautiful temperature. It's cold outside, but as soon as you put your feet in there, it just warms you right up. And there's incredible views over the city. The big Ferris wheel lit up behind us. And the sun was just setting. You could even see the silhouette of Mount Fuji off in the distance. So what a perfect way to finish off your beer bike is to come and just let your feet relax in the onsen here at the Mano Club. So any trip to Yokohama is not complete without bringing back some souvenirs from your stay here in Yokohama. So we've come to a place called Yokohama Goods 001, and it is specializing in all kinds of sweets and different souvenirs to bring back to your home country, specifically from Yokohama. We've given special permission to taste some of them in the store. You're not normally able to, and I've got one right here. This is called it's a chestnut cake, but you can see it says Yokohama Harbor on the front. So everything here, like I said, it's from the city of Yokohama. Let's open this up, see what we've got inside, and we're definitely gonna be taking home a bunch of stuff from our trip here. There's a lot to taste at this little souvenir shop. So this one's really, really soft little cake, almost shaped like a boat, which everything here in Yokohama is like ship themed. Let's try it. It's like a sponge cake, but then there's little crunchy chestnuts on the inside. It's really moist on the outside, even though it's like packaged in this. Yeah, awesome. Okay, this one is like a little caramel cookie, caramel nuts cookie. Oh, that looks really good. It's like crumbly, chewy caramel on the inside. So all Yokohama specialty snacks, can't get them elsewhere. Also, here in Japan, the packaging of all of the different souvenirs is just like so cute. So it's a perfect gift for your friends and family back home, or just bring it home for yourself and enjoy the delicious snacks. So to finish off our trip here in Yokohama, we've come to the Shin Yokohama Ramen Museum. This is a really cool place, and they've kind of recreated the old streets of Japan, like 1920s Japan, and you can come here and taste all kinds of different types of ramen. We're just kind of walking around taking in the cool atmosphere. It looks really authentic, like we just stepped back in time completely, and we're gonna be sampling a couple different types of ramen here. I don't even know how they can build something like this. It's so detailed and intricate. It literally looks like you're in an old street back in the olden days here in Japan. And this is our first stop for our first bowl of ramen. You can taste all kinds of different types of ramen from around Japan here at the Shin Yokohama Ramen Museum. So let's go try our first bowl. So I'm sat down now for my first bowl of ramen here at the Shin Yokohama Ramen Museum. Actually, the history begins in China. Even though this is synonymous with Japanese food, ramen actually came here first from China, and it wasn't even until like the early 1900s that it actually started to become popular here in Japan. You can learn more about the history of the ramen, but I'm here to taste it, and I've got a beautiful bowl of shoyu ramen. So there's tons of different types of ramen. There's shoyu, shio, tsukumen, tantanmen, all kinds of different kinds. This is a soy sauce based, so shoyu ramen. Really good. Oh, it's just so like full of flavor. Shoyu is actually my favorite ramen. I also really like the tonkotsu, which is like a thicker ramen, but this is really good for like a lighter ramen if you don't want to be super full after. And I feel like I can drink all of the broth with the shoyu. Okay, let's try these noodles next. Really, really solid bowl.
of ramen. Every time I come to Japan, I have like a checklist of different things I want to eat again. Obviously, you know, some famous things like sushi and wagyu, but ramen always tops the list. I can't wait to taste my first bite of ramen every time I land in Japan, and this is a great place to try. A really cool place here in the kind of hidden underground part of the ramen museum in Yokohama. Beautiful piece of chashu roast pork. Yeah, that broth, just so comforting, warms you up on a cold day. Okay, ramen number 2. This one, appearance-wise, completely different off the bat. It's served in a nabe, a hot pot, and then there's some fried garlic on the top here. And just check this out. Beautiful, beautiful ramen. That looks incredible. And you can see the egg yolk on top there. I'm gonna kind of mix it around. And I'm also just gonna add in all of that fried garlic, kind of give that a mix. Pieces of chashu in there as well. And then of course, those noodles on the bottom. Oh, that looks so good. Let's give it a try. So that's a really creamy tonkotsu broth. So boiled down pork bones for hours and hours and hours, overnight, days sometimes. Let's try the noodles. Oh, hot. It's a little cleaner tasting, less salty than the shoyu, and there's some bean sprouts in there as well. I can taste some kind of like veggie flavor. The egg just adds to the creaminess of that ramen too. This sort of tonkotsu broth ramen comes from the south of Japan. It's really heavy, creamy ramen. Piece of chashu here. It's a little fatty. I love it with the egg. I've actually never had a ramen in the nabe like this before. Third bowl of ramen of the day. This is shio ramen, so very light broth. This is just salt, shio salt. There's pieces of fat floating around in there, which I love to see. Braised egg, chashu of course, and I feel like I can smell a seafood-based broth with this one. Let's just try just the broth first. Definitely seafood-based broth, and a little bit salty, but not as salty as the shoyu ramen. Somewhere in between the tonkotsu and the shoyu. Very clean flavor, the light flavor. Let's try some of these noodles. These noodles look a little bit thinner too. Perfect firmness, always cooked perfectly well here in Japan. Yum. Let's try an egg, little runny yolk in the middle there. Oh, so creamy. Wow. Even though it's a seafood broth, it's not like a powerful, strong seafood flavor. It's just very light, kind of hints of it. I think I'm gonna give it up for the shoyu just because it's my favorite, but also the tonkotsu. This one, still good, but probably out of the 3, my least favorite. But still really, really delicious. It's just awesome that you can come to one place and taste so many different types of ramen in such a cool setting too, an amazing atmosphere. On our last night in Yokohama, we stayed at the Mitsui Garden Hotel Yokohama Minato Marai Premier, a luxurious hotel with sweeping views over Yokohama Bay. We also dined at their Ristorante I Volta, an Italian-Japanese fusion restaurant. So this is a pretty small market. It's called the Triangle Market. It has all kinds of different seafoods. Of course, lots of crab, which is Hokkaido's specialty. And it's really popular to have a donburi, so like a bowl of seafood. So we're going to order up at one of the restaurants a mixed seafood bowl. Let's see what they have. Little one street market with all kinds of seafood. Lots of fresh, good looking stuff here. So we popped into one of the restaurants serving the donburi, the seafood bowls,
And sitting on the floor here, they have every kind of combination of seafood imaginable. So they've got, this is the ikura, the salmon eggs with uni, just uni. Like, look at these uni bowls, are crazy. This is like seafood lovers paradise. So this is our kaisendon, or seafood donbori. We ordered 3 different things: the salmon roe ikura, and then the uni sea urchin, and then the beautiful salmon sashimi back here, all on a bed of rice. And this was 3,000, so a little bit pricey, to be honest. Big piece of wasabi there as well. Miso soup, which is looking beautiful, with a nice scallop inside. I'm just gonna go in with my spoon here, and let's try some of the ikura salmon eggs first. Those are so nice. They just pop in your mouth, full of juice, a little bit salty. Let's try the uni next. So uni is one of those things you either love it or you hate it. Luckily, I love it. Very creamy, completely disintegrates in your mouth. It's got like a faint irony flavor, if that makes any sense, kind of like a little bit metallic. It's really unique. Umami completely covers your mouth in flavor. A little bit of soy sauce. Go for a dip with this salmon. Oh, damn. That salmon's so good. Super rich and fatty. Oily. Again, melts in your mouth. You might think it's strange to eat so much raw food for breakfast, but it's so light. It's not grilled, it's not fried, nothing, no cooked, so it's got a really lightness to it. It fills you up, but it doesn't make you feel heavy for the day. Everything is really good, but I gotta give it up for the uni. The highlight is gotta be the uni. Super fresh Hokkaido uni is known for being some of the top quality. You can see a little bit of uni there, some ikura salmon eggs, a little bit of wasabi. Oh. Wow, that's good. Gotta have every dish pretty much in Japan with some miso soup. Oh, it's just so homey, comforting. Let's go for this guy right here. That's nice addition. Little scallop in there. As you can just imagine, we're sitting in a fish market. It really doesn't get fresher than this. This is really high quality stuff.
A little bit of the wasabi right here. Maybe not a little bit, but I'm a wasabi lover, so. So good.
This restaurant's so cool. I love how they've got all the different fish and seafood on the walls here behind me. Yum, what a great spot. Whew, that was good. Let me tell you one thing. If you ever have uni that is not fresh, it's gonna taste so bad, and it's gonna ruin your experience with uni. But you gotta have the freshest stuff. So, especially here in Hokkaido, it's so good. So Otaru is famous for its canal, very beautiful canal with these old buildings lining the side of it. We're getting a little bit of a rain shower right now, but I think it's gonna pass. It's very beautiful, nice place to walk. And another thing that Hokkaido is famous for is their dairy, and particularly their ice cream. So there is an ice cream shop. Well, there's tons of ice cream shops here in Otaru. We're gonna go grab ourselves a famous Hokkaido milk soft serve ice cream. Pretty hard out there now. We popped into this ice cream place that's called Yamanaka Dairy Farm. So they've got a farm here in Hokkaido that they produce all their own dairy. And look at that beautiful soft serve ice cream in a cone. Let's try it out.
very milky flavor. Here in Hokkaido, you get the soft serve ice cream. I haven't seen any non-soft serve ice cream places. The specialty is the soft serve ice cream. Wow, they're really good. Very creamy, but it's also got little kind of ice granules in them. Oh man, that's amazing.
Right, it's really cool. For me, I feel like eating ice cream in like cold weather, it's more satisfying than like eating ice cream like summer or like hot weather.
What? What's wrong with you?
I don't know, it's satisfying.
Still a bit rainy out, even though there's blue sky, so we put the cameras away. We're filming on the iPhone now. I hope the quality is all right. That was a damn good ice cream though. Oh my god, that was good. And we are now going to head to one of Otaru's most famous products is glass. So we're heading to a shop that specializes in selling glass products before we head out to Yoichi to check out the whiskey distillery. We go to Kitachi glass factory? Yes. All right, jumped in a taxi. We've made it here now, still raining quite hard. So this place is called Kitachi Glass Factory. Glass making goes back centuries here in Otaru, and this shop is really cool. They've got like a little restaurant that is all lit by kerosene lamps, I think, and you could smell it. As soon as you walk in, you can smell the gas. And then they've got this shop over here selling all the glass products, which range in prices quite severely. Some of them are $200 for a single cup, but very beautiful works of art. And this is something that Otaru is extremely popular for, their glass making. I mean, I'm not totally into glass, but this is also just a really beautiful shop. Look at this chandelier. It's absolutely massive. Okay, now we're into the serious stuff section. These lamps here, thousands of dollars. Average price seems to be about $2,000. Holy smokes. Me, not the most interesting thing ever. And unfortunately the rain has kind of screwed up our schedule, so we're going to head now to Yoichi, go to the train station first, and then head to the whiskey distillery, Nika Whiskey. We've made it to Yoichi station, just 25 minutes from Otaru. And this area, they say, is like the Scotland of Japan because the climate is similar to Scotland. And I've never been to Scotland, but I'm guessing it rains a lot because it is very rainy today. It's on and off. Right now it's stopped. Luckily for us, we're gonna walk over to the Nika Whiskey Distillery and take a little tour and then taste some whiskey. So we just finished the tour of the Nika distillery here in Yoichi. It is completely free, which blows my mind because it's a very extensive tour. About 45 minutes. I would totally recommend it if you're visiting Otaru because it's just about a 20-minute ride on the train from Otaru. So the grounds here are absolutely beautiful. It kind of resembles Scotland, and like I was saying earlier, the weather here is similar to Scotland, so it's ideal for making whiskey. Nika whiskey all started with one man who had a passion for whiskey. He trained and studied in Scotland. He married a Scottish woman, and then they moved back here to Yoichi and started the distillery, and now it's one of the most popular whiskeys in all of Japan. So you can see the entire process. Everything's done by hand. It is very cool, and like I said, it's free, which is crazy. But the best part is the free tasting at the end of the tour. So we're at the end of the tour now. They've given us 3 different drinks to try out. So the first is the apple wine. So this isn't actually whiskey. This is one of their other products, apple wine. This is a super Nika whiskey. And then this is the single malt Yoichi. This is the good stuff here. There's a huge demand for Nika whiskey that has overtaken the supply. So especially China, they've pretty much bought out the entire supply. You can't even really get it anywhere in the world. So coming to Yoichi is one of the only ways you can be sure you're gonna be able to buy a bottle of Nika whiskey, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to come here, is to take a bottle home with me. I just scoured the entire shop. They don't have any bottles of the single malt whiskey. That's how popular it is. Unfortunately, no single malt even here at the Yoichi distillery. I can't believe it. But let's get these guys on the rocks and then try them out. Single malt. Yeah. I'm not a whiskey drinker whatsoever, but this stuff is so smooth. I tried it one time on a previous trip to Japan, and I knew right away that this is definitely the best whiskey I've ever had. It just goes down so much smoother. There's no burn. It really fills you with full flavor though. That's the single malt. Man, that's delicious. Cool. So this one is Super Nika. I've made it into a highball, which is one of the classic drinks here in Japan. It's just carbonated water with whiskey. Oh yeah. Oh gosh. That is good too. Lighter flavor. Hokkaido is not just famous for Sapporo beer and all of the beer, and not only the whiskey, but also wine. It's one of the top, I think it is the top producer of wine here in Japan. So we've got Nika's apple wine. Oh, it's like a sweet dessert wine. Very sweet. Also smooth. I like the single malt the best. Damn. This is crazy that this is free. Can't even believe it. It is 1,000 yen to come to the top of the Sapporo TV tower. 90 meters tall is the observation deck, but it feels a lot taller than that. I mean, it doesn't look like it's gonna be that high, but once you get in the elevator and you start going up and keep going up and keep going up, yeah, this is really tall. And this was built in the 1950s, which is kind of crazy. You can see the entire city. You've got the incredible view of Odori Park, which is this really long park. And you can see some mountains off in the distance that even have a little bit of snow left on top. It's May right now. And yeah, the view is just absolutely incredible. They've got their own merch here for the Sapporo TV tower merch, which is kind of cute, the little mascot they've got. And you can see absolutely every building in Sapporo. This is the center of the city. Actually, the streets are even numbered according to the distance from the TV tower. So it might say like 1 West, 1 South Street, which means 1 block west of Odori Park, 1 block south of Sapporo TV tower. So it's very easy to get around. It's a very grid-like city, and I definitely recommend it. Only 1,000 yen to come up to the top, which is quite cheap compared to other observation decks in other places in the world. And you can also see the entire structure of the building, which is kind of cool in here.
Tower itself down there is already amazing, but then when you go up here, the view is mind-blowing.
So we're heading back down now to ground level, and we're going to try out Sapporo's famous miso ramen. Let's go. So I've come to a place called Ramen Republic. It's actually on the 10th floor of the Esta Mall, and it's a collection of a bunch of different ramen restaurants that are all serving their own different styles. This isn't necessarily the top place to try ramen by any means in Sapporo, but a lot of those restaurants are very quiet. Also counter bar seating, not so easy for us to film in, so we decided to come here. And I love the decorations here. It's decked out like a really old school Japanese side street or something like that. And we're gonna just looking at all the different ramen restaurants now and picking one out. So miso ramen is a Sapporo original. It makes up one of the main categories of ramen, along with shoyu, so soy sauce ramen, and shio, salt ramen. Miso ramen is loved all across Japan, but here in Sapporo it's very famous. So I've ordered up the special miso ramen at this shop, and it comes with a couple unique ingredients that are particular to Hokkaido, and that is this right here, a big slab of butter. So Hokkaido is famous for their dairy products, but it's also famous for its corn. So there's some corn in here, and then this comes with all kinds of stuff. It's got slices of pork, there's some shredded leek here, some soft-boiled eggs, menma, which is the bamboo shoots, and a piece of seaweed back here. Yum. So you'll notice right away that it's quite oily, but that's how they like to do it here, because traditionally a lot of these ramen shops used to be outside here in Hokkaido, and it gets very cold here in the winter time, so a big layer of oil on top of the broth helps to seal in all of that heat so it stays warm. We're actually in a shopping mall right now, so it doesn't really matter, but luckily still get the traditional flavor. Try out some of the noodles. You can see they've got these kind of crinkle cut noodles, which really help to stick that broth to them. Let's see how my ramen slurp is. Yeah. Nice and bouncy, springy. Oh man, that miso broth has such a nice, comforting flavor, really rich and thick. I'm gonna kind of mix this butter in there, let it melt. And let me try some of this corn, which is a really famous ingredient here in Hokkaido. Nice sweet corn, a little bit of a crunch. Yum. I also just noticed there's a little bit of ginger here. Ginger, give that another mix. And this isn't quite chashu, it's kind of like thin strips of pork. Let me go for that. Dunk it in that buttery miso broth. That's a solid bowl of noodles. One of my all-time favorite ingredients, the menma, the bamboo shoots. Try that, always got a nice crunch to it. Pickled, but it's still got a nice solid crunch to it, but it's all about this miso broth. All that oil floating to the top, but that miso gives it such a richness. Yeah. Alright, it's really good. This would be amazing on a cold winter day. A key component to any good bowl of ramen is a very softly boiled egg, and just cut through it with the chopsticks for a quarter. That yolk should just melt away in your mouth. This one's pretty good. Yum. So the corn and the butter addition is very Hokkaido specialty, but it's definitely not traditional. Actually, a traditional bowl of miso ramen will have no chashu, no sliced pork. It'll have actually ground pork and a lot of bean sprouts in it. This one's special version with a couple ingredients that are famous to Hokkaido, the butter and the corn. Very solid bowl of ramen. Interesting to have it with the butter and corn. Like I said, there's definitely better bowls of ramen in Sapporo. This place, Ramen Republic, is just cool to check out. It seems like it would be touristy, but it was just filled with locals. I didn't see any tourists here whatsoever. The prices are reasonable. You don't have to wait in line, so it's definitely a good option. Let's go. We have made it to our first stop on our noodle tour across Japan. We have come to the town of Fujinomiya. This is my first time here, and we are going for our first plate of noodles. Fujinomiya's famous yakisoba, or stir-fry noodle, from this shop right here. So our first plate of noodles on our noodle tour across Japan with Japan Railways, and we are having Fujinomiya yakisoba. So yakisoba stir-fried noodles, but these ones from Fujinomiya are particularly famous and a little bit different than your standard yakisoba. So we just watched them prepare a fresh batch. So it's steamed noodles that are made here in Fujinomiya. And what's really interesting is they use water from Mount Fuji. So as the name suggests, Fujinomiya, we are at the base of Mount Fuji. Unfortunately, as is often the case in August, you're not able to see it today. And a lot of times in August, the clouds will shroud Mount Fuji. But that's okay, because we're here for the yakisoba, and just look at how beautiful this is. So it's made with cabbage, of course, the noodles, there's some green onions, and there's pork fat, sardine powder, and then the pickled ginger. And also they have a little spring from Mount Fuji that you can get yourself a glass of water. So let's try out the famous Mount Fuji water first. Oh yeah, crisp. Oh, just look at this plate of noodles. It smells so, so good. Mmm. The noodles are really, really bouncy. You can taste that sardine powder that they put on top too. It gives it a little bit of a seafood flavor. Crunchy cabbage in there. And let me try to find a piece of the pork fat. Try again. They're not completely like covered in sauce, but a little bit of sauce. You can taste the stir-fry wok flavor. The pork fat just completely melts in your mouth. Crispy. Yum. What a bowl of noodles, plate of noodles. For our first stop, we have 5 more to go on this tour across Japan, but we're off to a really good start. Yum. I really like it with a little bit of the pickled ginger, and that pork fat is awesome. So even if you're unlucky like us, you can't see Mount Fuji, you can still taste the awesome yakisoba here in Fujinomiya. We are wasting absolutely no time on our noodle tour across Japan. That was some incredible yakisoba, but we are saying goodbye to Fujinomiya, and we are heading to our next city for our next bowl of noodles. So we are on the Shinkansen, or bullet train, heading to our next destination. I'll tell you exactly where we're going once we arrive there. And I just wanted to say, like, riding the train in Japan is an experience in and of itself that you must try. And the JR Pass just makes it so easy. I want to tell you a little bit about the reservation process. JR Pass holders can reserve their seats up to 1 month in advance. You can pick any seat you want. So if you want that window seat to hopefully catch a view of Mount Fuji, you can pick it. And also, this is very important, so listen closely. If you're traveling with oversized luggage, such as a large suitcase, you must select a seat that includes the oversized luggage. There's areas where you can store it, so make sure you choose the seat for oversized luggage if you're traveling with large suitcases. Welcome to the next stop on our noodle tour across Japan. We are in the city of Nagoya, and we are heading straight for our next bowl of noodles. So our second noodle of our noodle tour across Japan. We're here in the city of Nagoya, and they're famous for their dish miso nikomi udon. We've come to a place called Yamamotoya Honten. They've been around for over 110 years, the brand, here in Nagoya, making miso nikomi udon. So it's a nabe, a stone pot that is directly on the flame with some miso paste in the bottom, so fermented soybean paste with some green onions, and then add in the beautiful broth, the dashi broth. And then what makes this dish a little bit interesting is they don't actually cook the udon noodles prior to putting them into the nabe. It actually cooks right inside the bowl. So it's sort of a stew, which means nikomi. And the udon noodles are those thick, beautiful noodles, one of my favorite noodles in all of Japan. Even though it's the middle of summer, it's a great time to enjoy this dish, but I have to say, I can already tell you this would probably be better in the winter just because of how warming it is. It's served in the bowl like this. And let's do the grand reveal here. So I'll just remove the lid, and I just went for the classic style. So there's no meat in here. However, you can get with chicken or different proteins. There's just a beautiful egg, and I'm gonna pop that yolk and give that a nice mix here. Look at that. Look at those thick, thick noodles. So there's a little fish cake in there, but it's all about that broth, that miso broth. And that's why we are here to try it in Nagoya. This just smells so incredible, guys. And just look at how thick those noodles are. And apparently these are even chewier than the regular udon because of the way they're cooking it. They're cooking it right in there. They don't cook them prior to putting them in the dish. Let's try it out. Oh, actually, one more interesting thing right before I dig in. The owner here was telling me that I should actually take the noodles and put them on top of the lid. So the lid kind of acts as a bowl because it's just so steaming hot coming out of there. So it kind of cools it off. All right, let's try that. Oh. Yum. Wow, that's phenomenal. That miso flavor is so strong. If you've never had it, it's an essential ingredient in most Japanese dishes, and it just gives it sort of this kind of tangy, earthy flavor, slightly fermented but not overpowering. And then those noodles, those udon noodles, are so bouncy, so chewy. They might kind of feel undercooked, but they're not. Rest assured, it's sort of Japanese al dente, if you will. Oh my. That is a serious bowl of noodles. This is such a cool culture too, to take the noodles and actually put them in the lid. So the lid kind of acts as an extra little bowl so you don't burn yourself, because yeah, that nabe is smoking hot. Whoa, these noodles will run off on you too. It's so rich. So much flavor in that miso. And that's all it is, really, just the miso and the dashi. But the way that they cook it and just kind of cook the noodles in that broth, it soaks right into those udon noodles. Man, that is good. Whoa. This is worth coming to Nagoya just for this. Honestly, this is probably one of the creamiest, richest bowls of noodles I've ever tasted. Simple, not a whole ton of ingredients, but the flavor from that miso is just why this dish is a must try here in Nagoya. Wow, what a bowl of noodles. My first time here in Nagoya, my first time to try miso nakomi udon, and I highly recommend it. If you're ever visiting Nagoya, you could check out this shop. It is so good, so worth the stop. So we're gonna take a little break from the noodles. We're going to a kind of museum called the SC Maglev and Railway Park. A train museum. I thought this was very fitting considering we're on a JR Pass train tour around Japan, and I know a lot of you are die-hard train enthusiasts, but unfortunately I am not. I will not be providing any information beyond what's inside of this pamphlet because I don't know really what I'm looking at, but it already looks really cool. So they've got old trains and the new trains, like this steam locomotive right here, and then like the bullet train over there, which set a world record for the speed at 443 kilometers in 1996. Canada doesn't even have a bullet train, and in 1996 they had trains going 443 kilometers an hour here in Japan. So this one here is the MLX-01-1 superconducting maglev. This puppy can go 581 kilometers an hour, making it the world's fastest train as recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records. You could go from Tokyo to Osaka in just 1 hour. You can actually go inside and check out the interior, so let's go. If you love trains, this is the place for you. They have a rolling stock of different trains. You can go inside, check them out. Look at this old one. Smells like wood in here. It's all made out of wood. I love the nice green cushions. So cool, and they have so many different types from different eras. The train or locomotive history in Japan is rich, to say the least. These are trains that were in use, in service. You can see a little bit of wear and tear. They were well used, and now they're preserved here at the SC Maglev Railway Park, so you can come and check them out. Oh, look at the old bathroom in this one. Not quite as nice as the new ones. Look at this bathroom. It's beautiful. And it's on a train. So this one here is the second generation of the Hokkaido Shinkansen. This is the dining car. It's a double-decker. So inside this room, they have a huge diorama, so a miniature train model setup that must have taken forever to build. This is so intricate, the tiny little people, all the trains going, the little cars. I can't imagine how much work went into this. Honestly, this place is like a train buff's wet dream. I can confirm you do not need to be a train enthusiast to love the SC Maglev and Railway Park here in Nagoya. You're gonna have a great time no matter what. And in fact, if you come here not a train enthusiast like me, you may find yourself leaving as a train enthusiast. This place is so cool. So I couldn't leave Nagoya without trying a specialty of the city. We're taking a little break from the noodles tonight to have another famous dish here in Nagoya. We've come to a restaurant called Hitsumabushi Togawa Nagono, and they are famous for serving hitsumabushi, which is eel on rice. So you might have heard of unagi. This is a similar dish, but it's presented in a different way. We were just checking out how they cook the eel in the kitchen. It's absolutely mouth-watering. It's grilled on charcoal, and then they dunk it completely submerged into this beautiful sauce, and then right back on the charcoal to let that kind of caramelize, and then a second sauce dunk, and then back on the charcoal until it gets nice and crispy. In the West, we usually kind of throw away eel. It's not really considered something we want to eat, but here in Japan it's a delicacy, and when prepared right, it is absolutely delicious. This is actually going to be my first time trying hitsumabushi. So we've got this kind of set here, and then here it is, the pièce de résistance here at the back, this beautiful wooden bowl that it comes in, and the grand reveal. Look at that.
towering high with grilled eel. So there's a very particular way of eating this dish, which differentiates it from the unagi. So you're supposed to cut it into quarters. So I'm gonna cut it right down the middle like that, and then once more. And this is because you're going to enjoy it in 4 different ways. So first, I will try to take some of this out and put it in my small bowl here without trying to ruin it. And the first way to enjoy it is just au naturel, the regular flavor of the eel, all that beautiful, beautiful sauce and smoky goodness from that charcoal grill. So I'm just gonna try it plain like this, first taste. It's such a delicate fish. Really smoky flavor too. Immediately I can taste that charcoal and that beautiful kind of sweet soy flavor from that sauce they dunked it in. It's caramelized on the outside. It's almost got like a candy aroma or like a caramel aroma. And this is just the plain. We're gonna try it in 4 different ways, but just trying it like this already is delicious. And I wasn't kidding when I said this is a delicacy. This can be a little bit of a pricier dish. It's a special dish to be enjoyed on certain occasions. Or if you're like me and you're only in Nagoya for 1 day, maybe you should try it because that's special occasion enough. So that was the first taster. And now we're going for the second quarter. I'll grab some of the rice. And this time, what we're gonna do differently is we're going to add the seasoning. So there's some seasonings back here on the table. Some green onions. I'll add those generously. There's also wasabi. Put just a little bit on this piece first. And then nori, the shredded seaweed. Yum. That definitely makes a difference. I love the green onions. And I just can't get over that kind of caramel flavor on the outside. It's so sweet and good. And the fish is so soft and delicate. That is a beautiful dish. Perfect little break from the noodles we've been eating. Okay, third step this time. Third quarter. Put it in my bowl once again. This time we're gonna do it differently. We're going to add a soup, the dashi broth, which is served in this little teapot right here. Which is, oh, actually, sorry, before I do that, you gotta add the seasonings once again. So this is really a unique way of enjoying the unagi, the eel, freshwater eel here in Nagoya. And then I'll add the dashi broth served in this little teapot here. And you kind of make it a little soupy. I don't know how much to add. I think that's probably good. I'll try it like that. That's really good. That adds a lot of flavor. And it kind of mixes the wasabi in with it all. Kind of evenly distributes the wasabi. Eel is really good if you know how to cook it right. And here in Japan, especially in Nagoya, they know how to cook it right. All right, so the fourth quarter is a little bit more simple. You can just enjoy it any way you prefer. So out of those 3 ways, natural with the seasoning or with the dashi, I think I'm just gonna go with the seasoning. Really loving Nagoya. It's an awesome city. Even we're here just for a short stop because we're heading back on the train to our next location for our next bowl of noodles with Japan Railways. So make sure to stay tuned. We've got some awesome stuff to show you coming up.
Okay, we are back in Tokyo and we are heading for our next bowl of noodles. Let's go. So today's noodles we are not only tasting, we're actually going to be attempting to make them ourselves. We're here in Asakusa, Tokyo on Kappabashi Street, a famous street for buying all kinds of kitchenware. And we've come to a place called Sobagiri where you can experience making traditional soba. Let's try it out. So step one, we've got 100% buckwheat flour, really high quality stuff from Nagano Prefecture, and I'm gonna add just some water. All right, lid on, and we're gonna shake this like a cocktail shaker. All right, 1 minute's passed. I'm gonna give this a little mix with our spatula here. And another minute shaking. Get my exercise in. Now you can see that it's turned into a nice little ball, soba ball. Okay, the next step is to spread it out like this, fold back, and then turn like this. And we're gonna do that for a minute. I'm gonna add a little bit of powder. Is that enough? Okay. Give it a little mix here, and then we've got this nice little stencil, and we're gonna massage this to make it fit. Okay, we got a rolling pin, and we're gonna roll this out, turn. Okay, we've got the desired shape. Just gonna add a little bit of flour so this doesn't stick. And fold it over. Okay, moving on to the fun part. Time to cut our noodles. Check out this. Oh man, I don't know if they should trust me with this. So this is the intimidating part. We're gonna use the special soba knife here, and I'm gonna cut my noodles. I'm only gonna do 5 first because I'll probably mess it up. Let's try.
はい。1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
I've seen them do this in restaurants before. They go about 10 to 100 times faster than I'm doing it right now. Okay, finished off. I think I did all right for my first time. I'm gonna put these here. I think that's pretty good. Even thickness. Some of them a little fatter than others. That might have been my first one. Now it's time to eat them. That was a great experience. Really cool thing you can try here in Tokyo. My first time. I think I did all right. Honestly, I usually do bad at that stuff, but I think I did all right. And here are my noodles. Can't say already, I'm gonna guess these are not gonna be the best soba I've ever tried, just because I made them and not a soba master. But this does look like a pretty beautiful presentation. We've got some bonito flakes, some daikon radish, a little bit of nori, and there are my noodles. Look at it. Let me grab some of those so you can see. I think those look pretty good. It's a cold soba dish. You can also have hot soba, but this is perfect for the summer. And the noodles are so bouncy and chewy, that buckwheat noodle. It's really good. I don't want to compliment myself too much, but it's really good. Our third bowl of noodles on our noodle tour across Japan with Japan Railways. This was a really cool experience, guys. You should try this in Asakusa here in Tokyo. Our next location. We are in Morioka. This is my first time here, and we are going straight for our bowl of noodles. And spoiler alert, we are not having one bowl of noodles. I'm actually probably going to be eating the most bowls of noodles I've ever eaten in one sitting. You gotta see this, it's gonna be amazing. Let's go. So we're here in Morioka. It's known for 3 types of noodles that are very famous here in Morioka. The Ramen, Jajamen, and Wanko Soba. We've come to try the last, Wanko Soba, and this is sort of a Japanese food challenge, or noodle challenge, if you will. So how it works is she's just gonna continuously feed me noodles. As soon as I open this bowl, the challenge starts. You can't go to the bathroom, you just eat, 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 eat. About 15 bowls of these noodles equal like 1 regular bowl. And the record here was set by a woman, 450 bowls of noodles. We're not getting anywhere close to that, but she told me if I get to 100, you get a prize. So I'm aiming for at least 100. I'm a little bit nervous. Let's do this. Besides the noodles, we have all kinds of other side dishes. Tempura, the ikura, the salmon roe, different noodles, some sashimi, and okay, this means go time. Let's do it. All right. Number one. Let's do it. It's delicious. So that's how she works. Just dumps it in your bowl once you finish your one. It's really good though. It's going down easy. It's just a little bit of noodles in each one. The broth is good. Salty, dashi. Right. Luckily, it's really delicious. Okay, it's game time. I'm warmed up now. Okay, I have no idea how many that was. And she told you not to drink the broth. You actually pour the broth away. I guess you get to save every inch of space in your stomach. That's pretty good. Pretty good start. So stack is 15. So I pretty much just ate a full bowl of noodles in that felt like 30 seconds. It's kind of a little bit of pressure because she's pouring them in. She's waiting there for you to finish. You're slurping. She pours the next one in. But off to a good start. Let's see how many we can do. Okay, round two. She does not slow down at all. A little bit of green onions for this one, maybe. Really delicious noodles. Simple, dashi broth, a little salty, but nice and bouncy. Each one's about a mouthful or 1.5 mouthful. I'm losing confidence slowly because that's starting to fill my stomach. Disappearing behind the noodle bowls. That's 45, 46. There's lots of other things on the table that I want to eat, but at the same time, I don't want to get full, so it's kind of like a conflict of interest. But let's try a little piece of sashimi here between rounds. Yum. So 15, 30, 45, 60, and 63. And the next round is already here, so here we go. Okay. No stop. Okay, I think I'm at 81. She just told us if you throw up, it's 0. So keep that in the back of your head. Don't go too fast. I'm just getting to 100 and then I'm calling it quits. How in the world someone does 400? 450? That's insanity. That would fill this whole table. Okay, bowl 100. Let's do it. It is really good, but damn, that's a lot of noodles. One more, why not? She's forcing me to eat more. I'm at 101. Because they can't stop until you put the cover on. $105. 105? Okay. Really.
Yeah,
Really.
Don't put the lid on. You gotta put the lid on.
I gotta get the lid on before she puts this in my bowl.
And hold it firm.
Arigatou gozaimasu. Okay, what was that? 105? 104? 105. All right, mission complete. 105 bowls. I challenge you guys to come here and beat my very weak record by the sounds of it. The woman record, 450. Men was like 380. That's insane. I didn't, unfortunately, get to finish all of my side dishes, but I think you can understand why. So here is my kind of medal, my accomplishment. You can see right there, 105 bowls of Manko Soba, the date. Holy smokes. These guys behind me, somebody did like 270. I seriously have no idea. I'm not a competitive eater whatsoever. I love eating, but that is on another level. Holy smokes. 105, I'm satisfied with that. The guys sitting behind us absolutely destroyed me and kind of made me feel embarrassed. The last place out of all of these guys, there must have been 7 guys, ate 151. First place, 270. Look at that. Welcome to our accommodation for the night. Come on in. This is Besso Kake, a onsen ryokan on the outskirts of Morioka City in a little town called Tsunagi Onsen. So what better of a way to relax after eating 105 bowls of noodles than to take a dip in the natural hot spring water, or onsen, which Morioka is known for. This is an incredibly beautiful room. It's traditional Japanese tatami floor, futon beds on the ground, and an incredible view over the lake and Mount Iwate. Iwate Prefecture is the prefecture we're in right now. It's just incredibly beautiful. So we've got a welcome snack. This is black sesame mochi. Yum. All right. How do I look? I never really know how to properly wear these things. And she literally just had to go get one that she said was the biggest one they had. What's so amazing about this onsen ryokan in particular is they actually have 2 private onsens in your room. First, this outdoor onsen open air bath with an incredible view over the lake, and that's the biggest onsen I've ever seen in a hotel in Japan, for sure. So there's actually 2 different sources of hot spring water. The one that's coming into this one indoors is a little bit more lukewarm, a little cooler than the one outside. But this alone is incredible, but to have 2 of them and that view is just incredible. So I'm getting right in. I have to say though, it has a strong smell, unlike some of the other onsens I've stayed at in Japan. This one has quite a strong smell of sulfur. It's not a bad thing, but it definitely was surprising when I first walked in here how strong it was. So at hotels like this one, you'll have exquisite meals, and what's really cool here is they actually bring the meal right to your room. Some pretty exotic ingredients. But first off, we've got a beautiful dish of sashimi, different cuts. I see a scallop there, the chutoro, medium fatty, akami, the lean tuna. We've got a vegetable dish with yuba, which is the tofu skin, eggplant, grilled sweet fish, and this is really kind of interesting, I guess. This is a soft shell turtle jelly. Definitely never tried that before. They also brought out a couple things off menu. This is awesome. This is right from their garden, fresh edamame, which is famous in this region. And then they also brought this. I don't know if I'm gonna like this because I've only tried it once before and I was not a fan. This is sea squirt. They call it hoya here, hoya, or sea pineapple. So some pretty exotic ingredients. I'm gonna start with edamame, something a little bit more simple. Beautiful presentation. Let's just try a piece of this sashimi. I'm not sure what exactly this one is. Sea bass, actually, sorry. We'll dip in the soy. All right, I'm gonna try this one out. This is the soft shell turtle jelly. Somehow this is made out of turtle. Can't say I totally recommend eating turtle, but since it's already prepared in front of me, I'm gonna try it out anyway. Nice flavor of green onions. A little bit of dashi in there as well. No turtle flavor. Not that I really know what turtle tastes like, but it doesn't have any strange flavor. Let's give this grilled fish a try too. This is grilled sweet fish, popular summer dish in Japan. It's called sweet fish for a reason. It's very sweet. Lots of little bones, but wow. I can't believe how sweet it is actually. That's amazing. Okay, time to try the sea pineapple Hoya. Oh man, I'm not too looking forward to this, to be honest. What's the smaller piece? In Japan, when they ask you, is there anything you don't eat? You really need to think outside the box. What is anything you wouldn't eat? If you don't eat turtle, or you don't eat sea pineapple, you should probably add it to your list. Unfortunately, I forgot to add that one to our list today, so I'm gonna try it out. Actually, wow, not bad. The shiso leaf on top really masks any strong flavor, and it's a little bit sweet, and the texture is just like sashimi. Slightly bitter at the end. Not as bad as I thought though. I think I won't finish the last piece, unfortunately. Now this is something a lot more my style. Chutoro, medium fatty tuna. Finish off with our appetizers. We have a grilled fish. This is grilled Kitachi rockfish. Ooh, it's almost buttery. Really, really creamy fish. So for our grilled dish, we have a grilled eel unagi, beautifully coated in that sweet soy sauce. Let's try. It's not salty at all. Very sweet. Very smoky and crispy too from being grilled. Okay, our main dish of the night has arrived, and I'm excited to try this. This is Tenkaku beef. So Wagyu beef from Iwate Prefecture. And this is not just normal beef, this is aged beef. And when I just asked our waitress here how long it's been aged, she knew exactly. 126 days aged beef. Let's try it out. It came out on this sizzling hot plate. There's 2 cuts of the round, which is this, and sirloin. Let's try the round. Wow. Aging it really brings out a completely new flavor that you don't taste with just a fresh cut of beef. I won't say it's funky, but it's definitely a little different than a normal beef. It's not as juicy, it's more lean. Anytime you're having beef on the menu in Japan, it's gonna be a good day, guys. It's got a very interesting dry aged texture.
Welcome to the city of Aomori, our next stop on our noodle tour across Japan. Aomori is located in the very north of Japan's main island of Honshu, and we are going straight for our next bowl of noodles at this shop behind me. They specialize in miso curry milk ramen, something I've never tried before, so let's go try it out. So Aomori is very close to Hokkaido, which is actually where we're going for our last stop on our noodle tour. And Hokkaido is known for its dairy products, such as milk and butter. Anything with a slab of butter on top of it, I am down to eat. Look at that golden rich broth, miso curry broth. There is some chashu, the roast pork. There's some seaweed, some menma, the bamboo shoots. Lots of bean sprouts as well. Oops. And then we gotta get the noodles underneath there. Look at that. Oh yeah. Somehow, after 5 days of eating noodles every day, I still want to eat these noodles. That is so delicious. The broth is so rich and creamy. Oh my gosh. Addition of the butter is just so cool. I'm gonna kind of let that melt away and then try some of these noodles. Those are looking like some thick, bouncy noodles. Gosh, yes. That is good. Not your typical bowl of ramen for sure. I've never had ramen with butter in it, and the milk just adds such a creaminess
and richness to the broth. There's so much flavor in that. Oh my gosh, that's really, really good. Let me try a little piece of their chashu, if I can rip it off, and then grab a bamboo shoot. Yum. Wow. Okay, come to Aomori to try this. This is so good. I have to say, this is definitely my favorite bowl of noodles from our noodle tour across Japan so far. It's gonna be hard to beat this. This is seriously delicious. The broth is almost like the texture of just melted butter. So delicious. And as is the case with most ramen restaurants in Japan, you gotta eat and you gotta get out. Savor the flavor as quickly as you can. That was a absolutely delicious bowl of ramen. One of the best I've ever had, probably. And we're gonna go explore a little bit more here in Aomori. They are known for their seafood. We're right on the coast, so we're gonna go grab a kaisendan, a seafood bowl. We're actually gonna make our own. It's gonna be really fun. Let's go. So this place is called the Aomori Gyosai Center, and the way that it works is you buy yourself these coupons here. So for 12 tickets, you pay 2,000 yen, and you receive a bowl of rice, and then you can go around to any number of the shops within the center here to get your toppings for your seafood bowl. So we're gonna go pick out some sashimi and some different things and decorate out a nice bowl for our second lunch of the day.
Okay. で、番ね。Wait, big.
Okay, thank you.
ちょっと big. Okay.
Big piece.
で、これ番ね。ちょっと待って。これ、お、big.
Okay, ありがとうございます。
で、こうなるでしょ。
Thank you.
1、2、3、4、5、6、6。
6.
Okay.
Okay. So this is sort of like a fun, interactive way you can build your own sushi bowl or sashimi bowl. They call it kaisendan here. And also, I spotted a stall that was selling all kinds of apple juice. So Aomori is very famous for its apples. So he had like green apples, different levels of sourness and sweetness. Gave us a bunch of samples. This is the one I went with. So I'm gonna enjoy some apple juice with my kaisendan. And honestly, I didn't even spend all my tickets. I still have 4 tickets left, but I didn't want to go overboard because we just ate that ramen. We're still pretty full. But check out our bowl. I went with just like some classics, the classic things I love. Salmon and tuna. Different cuts of tuna, so of course the leaner cuts, the fattier cuts. This is all 3, I think. Lean, medium, and fatty. And then a nice piece of tamago on top. Let's just try out a piece of this tuna first. A little bit of wasabi and a dip in the soy. Okay, let's try the famous Aomori apple juice. Man, that was so good actually. It's not super sweet, a little bit sour. It's just like pure apple flavor. Try a little piece of salmon. Tastes so good with a warm bed of rice. A nice slice of tamago. The way they do the eggs here is so good. A little bit of sugar in there, so it's got some sweetness. Yum. Very fresh seafood here in Aomori. We are off to our final stop on our noodle tour across Japan. We are heading to Hokkaido. This trip has gone so smoothly, just using the one ticket JR pass to visit all those cities, and we're heading to Hokkaido, which is a different island than we have been traveling on Honshu, the main island. So we actually have to go underwater through the Sankeien tunnel. So we're in the tunnel right now. We're actually underwater, if you could believe it. That's so cool. So see you in Hokkaido. Welcome to Hokkaido. We are in the city of Hakodate. This is my first time here. Beautiful temperature here, a lot cooler than in Tokyo. And we have come here specifically for our last bowl of noodles on our noodle tour across Japan in partnership with Japan Railways. We are having Shio Ramen, which is famous here in Hakodate.
this is the spot. Let's go get it. So this ramen shop is called Hakodate Menya Ichimonji, and they're famous for their shio ramen, which is popular here in Hakodate. It's a salt ramen, so a clear broth. You can see nice, clean and clear, beautiful noodles underneath. We've got a thick slab of chashu, nicely cooked egg, a little bit of bamboo shoots, but it's a very simple ramen, probably the simplest bowl we've tried so far. I'm just gonna taste the broth. Oh man, there's a nice oil on the top there, a big layer of oil, and that's a clean, light chicken stock. Very, very nice flavor. It's called salt. You can definitely taste the salt, but it's not like crazy salty. Let's slurp down some of these noodles. Our last bowl. It's a little sad, to be honest. This has been such a good trip. Yum. Very light flavor. Just easy on the palate. Nothing too creamy, nothing too crazy. Not like the miso curry milk ramen. This is almost like the opposite of that one. But still delicious, delicious in its own way. Oh, that is a phenomenal bowl of ramen. Let's try the roast pork, the chashu. This is a different cut than I'm normally used to seeing. Let's try it. That is fatty and tender. Oh my gosh, yeah. So I spotted on the table here, there is a little bowl of garlic and this garlic press. Oh, that garlic juice. There we go. Oh, nice. Okay, let's try it with the addition of the garlic. Oh, yeah. Crunchy bamboo shoots. Yum. It's hard to have a bad bowl of noodles here in Japan. So apparently one of the best views in Hakodate is from Mount Hakodate. I wouldn't know though, because I'm standing on top of Mount Hakodate and this is the view I see. We are completely enveloped in clouds, but we did get a nice glimpse of it on the ropeway up. It's one of the most popular things to do in Hakodate is ride the ropeway up and enjoy the view if you're lucky. Unfortunately today, it's a little cloudy, but a nice way to cool off because it is nice and cool up here, and that was fun riding the ropeway up anyway. Unfortunately, no view for us today.